It's Wednesday and we are live, Pontificators. We are going to talk pop culture to death, as always. So, wait. We just got a late. Whoa, what the hell? Do you guys see this? What is this? Let me add this to the stream. What is this?
Is that one of those deep fakes?
Ah,
That's a pretty man.
What's up, dudes?
Isaac Winter is in the
I
house.
don't know, dude. What's up with you?
Oh shit, man! I did not see that coming, man. When I could see it a mile away because you get like a little preview and it's all ghosted. But when I looked at that, I was like, oh no, Edgar Winter, you are. Yeah, there you go, man. Yeah.
Oh, is it Edgar? I thought it was. No, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. What was there?
Pretty boy.
Edgar Winter, and then what was his brother?
Johnny.
Johnny Winter. Who was the one that had the Frankenstein song?
That was Edgar.
That was the only one that anyone knows, right? Because of that weird Frankenstein song.
Unless you live in Texas, and pretty much anybody who knows anything about Texas blues knows Johnny Winter.
Okay, well that's good because I don't know if metal or like hard rock and yodeling actually works. I know Edgar tried to get that, to happen, but I'm not sure if he pulled it off.
Musicians appreciate him anyway.
Yeah, but there is yodeling in that song, right? I'm correct in that.
In Frankenstein?
Yeah, isn't it like yodel, 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 yodel?
I'll have to listen to it again. I don't remember yodeling.
And then it goes do 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 do.
I mean, he played every instrument plus his amp in that song.
Yeah. I like that little area that he opens up for the drums. He goes dun 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 dun, and then the drum jokes. The drum solo is horrible. He gets a spotlight, and then it's like, oh, the most unimaginative drum solo since Ringo Starr.
Oh, damn.
Well, that's a deep cut. Poor Ringo.
You're going for the
He's the best Beatle. Art.
Well, Ringo Starr's solos are boom, 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 boom,
That's true. You had a super chat, by the way. So
I sure as hell do. Hey, Gaming or What? Always trademark, you guys. Always trademark. Thank you so much for the 5. Hey, Art, did you see the tweet I sent you about my poster being damaged? Yes, I did, and I asked you to send that through the Indiegogo messaging, and then I can forward that to my wife, and she can take care of that. So I'm so sorry that your lid got popped off and that they screwed up your posters, but we hammered those tops on those posters. So I don't know how they just popped off. They had to have like run over or squeezed it with some kind of machinery, because there's no way a human could just pull that top off. Like I pull them off with the claw hammer. So
to be honest, Art, I'm being a very good boy because you just gave so much sex joke fuel. I mean, my God.
Well, go for it.
My God. No, I'm not. No.
Hang on.
Joe is here. I have to be responsible.
Let me medicate a little bit before we get this going. All right.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, it's been a while. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right.
Yeah, I so want to show your toe, Bob. You said
I got an even better one now, man. It's even worse.
Oh my God, this thing will make you vomit. This toe. So what the hell happened to your toe?
I just stubbed it and it just hit it just right, and it cracked the crown of the bone. So
that's from stubbing it, from ramming that into like a wall.
Holy dude, it's something that I've done a million times, and just this one time I was like, we're done.
I was working construction once, and these guys were moving like heavy pipes, and they had like a dolly, and they ran over the guy's foot, and they actually popped his toe like a zit.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You start getting old, your body gets brittle, man.
I don't know if that had anything to do with the brittle body.
Oh no!
Oh my God.
Past Masterden. Why am I having trouble saying that? I've lost my big toenail 3 times. Damn. My daughter lost a bunch of her toenails because she did ballet for so many years.
Oh, ballet dancers' feet are messed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing, Bob, is they can't do anything, right? Like, 'cause my brother broke toes before, and they can't really do much, right? Did they
They just set the bone and wrapped it up and said, "All right, stay off of it for 6 weeks. Thanks for accepting your challenge and good luck."
Did they buddy him up? Is that what they did? Buddied it, taped it to another one.
No, they just he just popped it back, and it's because the way it's broken, man. It's like where the two bones meet. You got the crown of the bone right there. It cracked right along the edge of the crown.
So by setting it, do you mean like it was jammed into the other joint and then they set it, or
it was
a wonderful conversation.
Where the break was, it popped up over top of it like.
Oh, it broke in two. Oh, I see. They had,
and then he had to pop it back down. So.
Oh, excellent! You did it right.
Yeah. Now it broken bone sucks. The worst ones are the ribs, though. Yeah, because you just can't do anything about them.
Wait,
give him a warning. Give him a warning.
Oh, jeez, God, what the hell is that? How old are you? 95?
That's because when you break a bone, sometimes it causes this thing called a fracture blister, where the blood
composition,
where the blood from the bone actually seeps up and gets and creates like a bubble underneath the skin on the top. So
I'm glad we were talking about Frankenstein, Joe. Thank you.
Indeed.
Frankenstein's foot right here.
And by the way, the yellow stuff is from that stuff that they put on there.
Yeah, the
like dyes your toenails.
Yeah. It looks like your pinky is coming out of the top of your foot.
What's wrong? Wait,
that's the other injury I had. They actually the bone below that little toe has been removed.
Ah, so it is the form.
Yeah.
Is that so you can wear high heels?
Dangly.
Oh my God! Yeah, I have beautiful feet, by the way. Just so you know.
You want to see my feet?
I got feet going on too.
The
Beautiful feet.
Yeah.
I got the boot.
It's the foot stream. Oh shit! All right.
Todd's just going to be like, "Why the hell am I here?"
You know what?
Right.
You know why Todd is not amused? Because he's like the guy that has the hottest car in the city, right? And he doesn't have to show it off. He already knows. He has the confidence.
True.
So Todd knows he has the best looking feet in Comicsgate.
What do you guys drive? Actually, that's an interesting question. I know we're talking about our topic, but what do you guys drive? What are you driving, Art?
I have a Celica GTS 5-speed.
Nice. That's a fun car, dude. How about you, Todd?
Chevy Tahoe.
Ooh, nice. American. Joe, now let me guess. Joe has a lime green Pacer
with dingo balls.
Yeah, baby. What are you driving, brother?
Dingo balls and a hula dancer on the dash.
Sweet.
Well, you gotta get the El Camino with the lace on top of the hood, man.
Yeah, no, I've got a compromise between a work vehicle and at-home dad, drive the kids around vehicle. So I've got an F-150 with a crew cab.
Those are great cars, man. It's a good truck, dude. Ford all the way. What about you, Bob? With that toe, I know someone's driving your
ass. I'm driving shit right now.
Yeah.
No, a Volkswagen Passat.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I would not call that.
I like being a big guy getting out of little cars.
Yeah.
You could that's backpack.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, we got Blue Samurai Zero. Thank you so much for the 2. My cards name in a huge tube, or came in the huge tube. Weird flex, but thanks.
Flex.
I don't know.
It's a toe reference. It's a toe.
It's a toe. Oh, okay. Yeah.
You got a flex or
flex. Yes. So Bob came to us with the story. I'm gonna let him run lead on it, and then man, this whole thing with Keanu Reeves. Have you guys seen this? This Kickstarter? Holy shit balls, man!
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, he's rocking.
He is, and Art. I just my wife insisted. She gave me a list. I have a list here of things that I'm not allowed to criticize, and at the top of the list is
Me.
Keanu Reeves. So, yeah, we better be nice, or I'm going to get in trouble.
So she's in love with Keanu Reeves. Is that it?
Yeah.
Everybody's in
forever.
love with Keanu Reeves. I'm in love with Keanu Reeves.
Oh God.
I slept with him.
Oh.
That's the whiskey talking.
Bob, you don't have a chance at a foot like that.
You don't know,
There
man.
he is.
I have
There he
doors.
is.
Shooting out my dreams.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bob. What are we talking
I'm
about here?
sharing it out to
Something on
Art.
DC
They can
Comics.
throw it up on the screen there, man.
I'll go get it.
I'm taking this one from the CBR.
Oh, the CVR?
Yeah, the CBR articles that had a little bit more. Oh, you got the IGN one up there. Okay,
Yeah.
hang on. I'll get it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so
Hold
DC.
on. Wait. I gotta read this. Real quick. Jude has a comment here. He says it's like the foot of an old Chinese lady had a baby with a shut-in grandpa's foot. That's exactly true.
I see a future story for Bob.
Yeah. All right, I got IGN up here. So I got DC Comics hires former Activision Blizzard CMO as general manager. With DC and parent company Warner Media dealing with the fallout of major layoffs and a new piece of the corporate puzzle has emerged, DC has now hired former Activision Blizzard Chief Marketing Officer Daniel Cherry to fill the position of Senior Vice President and General Manager. That is a terrible idea. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Cherry will begin his role on September 8th, and his responsibilities include overseeing business affairs, editorial, talent search, marketing, sales, brand, and direct-to-consumer for DC. Cherry will reportedly report directly to Warner Media President of Global Brands and Experience, Pamela Lilford, and will work closely with Senior Vice President of Business Strategy, Finance, and Administration, Annie DePies. What the hell?
Wow.
What the hell kind of name is that?
I want dessert.
Yeah. Just a little bit. I do know who this guy is a little bit. I used to be a big World of Warcraft fan and big Blizzard head. And he's, put it this way, he was brought in to head up their esports division and kind of ran it into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
This is Daniel Cherry?
Yeah, this is Daniel Cherry.
Okay.
And he kind of ran it into the ground. He was part of the when Activision bought Blizzard. He was part of the new power structure that was put into place that got rid of the old one and got rid of most of the things that people loved about Blizzard. And it's part of the reason why Blizzard is no longer went from being the biggest gaming company in the entire world to being one of the most hated.
Yeah,
wow.
He's a China hack, is what he is.
Yeah, he is.
Why do you think he got brought in to oversee DC?
Because he's a name, and he's part of a big corporate machine. He's basically a marketing guy. This looks to be like they're bringing him in to kind of fill the. They're obviously bringing him to fill the void for Dan DiDio when Dan DiDio left, and
but Dan's not a marketing guy though.
No, he's not, and it looks like he's being brought in to replace DiDio and Harris, basically. Okay. And and like I said, he's one of those guys that kind of he's a corporate yes man, basically what he is.
Yeah,
and he's a big marketing guy. But it seems to me like one of the speculation that I had is the fact that he seems to have been brought in to kind of steer the DC brand into something that they can market outside of comics. You know, considering what he comes from. He comes from the esports. He comes from. He's basically just he's a marketing guy. You know what I mean? And it doesn't seem to like he's going to have any hand in the creative process. It looks like all of that's still going to rest with Jim Lee. Which we'll talk about. I'll go ahead and we'll just keep reading here. The general manager position is a new addition to DC's executive leadership. DC is touting Cherry's experience in the esports realm, while at Activision, the company is looking to branch beyond its traditional forms of consumer outreach and target new untapped segments of the comic book market. THR also notes that this position is designed to allow publisher chief executive officer Jim Lee to focus on building up the wider DC brand It's an unknown whether Lee will continue under those titles or take on a new position at DC. It's basically, yeah. Go ahead.
Interject here, like DC brand, like this is definitely corporate talk. This is not comic book talk, right?
Yeah.
Like, because it's like Jim Lee will focus on the DC brand. Well, no, he doesn't. He's not a branding guy. He's a comic book guy. Like, he would oversee the day-to-day of the publishing aspects. So this is really strange. I know we still have a little bit more to go, but I just wanted to throw this out to you guys. Does this feel more like this is an overall like lifestyle brand idea, like we heard from Marvel a couple months back?
Yeah.
Like this is more of like this Cherry guy. He's going to be kind of overseeing everything, and it's just going to be more of like the publishing is just going to be like all the licensing, like beach towels and video games and everything else. Like it's just going to be under one kind of massive umbrella.
Yeah, he's basically going to be the he's going to be the marketing PR guy.
Okay.
And he's going to be pushing and he's going to be looking in brand in publishing into all the things outside of publishing. I think the publishing arm of it's still going to be Jim Lee. I think he's going to be the guy that's focusing on everything else, and he's going to try to push it into different areas, different mediums besides comic books.
There is a huge difference between this guy and the Sana Amanit, life brand of Marvel. They are over at Marvel, even though it sounds like Disney's starting to do some pushback against it. They, for a while, it's about politics, not about money, right? Mm-hmm. This dude's all about money.
Yeah, that is one thing I will say. Even when he was doing the esports over at Blizzard, it was all about money. And that's one of the reasons why they cut so much. They cut pretty much all of the effort behind Heroes of the Storm, which was their MOBA game, because it wasn't making any money.
It's too bad. It was a fun game.
Yeah, so he's one of those guys. It's like he's cutthroat. He's like, if it ain't making money, it's gone.
So this guy could possibly be looking at ways of getting comic books into more of just like Targets and Walmarts and supermarkets and things like that,
or onto like more digital platforms, like that one that we were talking about a while back. What's it called? I can't remember the name of we had the guy that
that looked pretty cool.
Yeah, we had the guy that created it. I can't remember his name now, but
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I can't remember his name either. That guy was cool.
Yeah, but I think like he's probably going to be looking at more like things like that, different segments of like the comic book market, like you said, putting it into places other than comic book stores, and focusing on other mediums and stuff that they could push comic books and comic book licensing into. So it seems like they're going to leave. Jim Lee's still going to be the guy that's pretty much in charge of the comic book, like the production, the creation of the comic books, and what direction the comic books themselves go into. This guy's going to be in control of the marketing and the branding of it and every other aspect.
But there's also this Marie Javins and Michelle Wells.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that they're going to have a lot to do with how the comic books are going to move forward as well.
Yeah, that's a different story. Javins and Wells are kind of the people they brought in to take over Harris's duties as far as the publishing and the comic book branch itself is concerned. And I think the reality is that Jim Lee is going to it's kind of like he's still in charge, but he answers to them.
Yeah, I think everybody is pretty much in agreement that DC wants to keep Jim Lee happy, but just kind of as Jim Lee. Yeah. Not so much as like a creative guy, but more as like not a creative guy, but more as a creative guy, I should say, and less of like the business guy.
They're going to put him into the Stan Lee role.
Yeah, so he'll be more like the artist guy that because like, let's face it, if Jim Lee went over to Marvel, it would make headlines, and Marvel would get all kinds of attention overnight. So he's a superstar. So I think he's almost like you said, he's a figurehead at this point.
I think they're going to turn Jim into a Mickey Mouse sticker.
Oh,
kind of, yeah. As far as branding is concerned, Jim is one of the last legitimate superstars.
Yeah,
true.
He's one of the you look at the what's that? Dude, I'm talking about as far as names that that everybody knows, man.
No, you've triggered Todd. Come on, Todd. He's one of the greatest living comic book illustrators. What are you on about?
Yeah, you can't deny the effect that the guy's had, and he is a name that almost everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the thing that they think they're marketing on. So, but moving on from that, this news comes weeks after Warner Media laid off hundreds of employees, eliminating the majority of workers at DC Universe and DC Direct, and as much as 1/3 of DC Comics editorial staff, including editor-in-chief Bob Harris. In place of Bob Harris, Maria Javinson and Michelle Wells are serving as interim editors-in-chief. I think those two are going to end up being grandfathered in to this position permanently.
I do too. I agree.
What do you think AT&T's ultimate goal is here? Because I mean, all this is clearly AT&T's doing. Yeah, I mean, if that's true, that's a good thing. But how though?
I honestly, I think the big wigs at AT&T are like, we're putting in people who know how to manage money. We're putting in people who will basically, they may not know the in and outs of the business that they're in charge of, but they know what makes money, and they know when something's making money and when something isn't.
Yeah.
And I think they're just going to cut it if it doesn't meet up to some standard where we're making money. Because like Jim Lee actually came out and said that, like, what was it, like 1/3 of their books weren't making any money at all.
Yeah.
Roughly that. Yeah.
Yeah, like roughly 1/3 of the books were losing money, and immediately, like, these two came in and were like, "Nope, that's gone. It's out."
Either losing money or breaking even. They were not profitable.
They weren't profitable. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I think this is a good thing, and I like the idea of somebody coming in that may have connections outside of the comics industry, meaning outside of Diamond and retail stores. I don't want to see any of that stuff change. I don't want to see any hardships on anybody. So I just want to be clear. So I'm not hoping, like doom and gloom on anybody. But what I'm really hoping is that this guy, this Cherry, what is his name, Daniel Cherry or whatever, that he can go and that he can bring these comics into the mainstream, meaning where kids can have access to these books again, and to where he can make it have financial sense, make financial sense, where it doesn't really, in most cases it doesn't, with the returnability and a lot of that other stuff. So if they can actually get these things in front of kids, and then they can make it or have it make financial sense, then I think we have a hit and we can build the comics industry back up. So I like the idea of this guy. And Bob, you say that he has done this stuff before, right? He has a track record of doing this type of work.
He has a track record of being like, basically, like, the bottom line is the bottom line.
Yeah.
The problem with him, however, though, is he's not someone that he's not one of those people that's willing to give a property a chance to grow. He wants to see immediate returns.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why he, when he was in charge of the esports over at Blizzard, he kind of drove it into the ground. He didn't want to give these properties, basically, when it comes to the esports, like when they created Heroes of the Storm, it was an answer to League of Legends.
Yeah.
And they wanted to see that success immediately. And they didn't. And they weren't willing to really put the time and effort into letting it grow into its own thing. And then the marketing for it wasn't aimed at growing their own IP. It was aimed at, like, hey, look at this. It's just as good as this thing over here. It wasn't aimed at taking the people that were interested in it and helping them build this thing into a legitimate esports.
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys that he's a bottom line guy, but he's also kind of short-sighted.
Yeah, but I think he's basically AT&T put someone over there that they could absolutely control. So I think that's a big part
that's
of
the
it.
other thing. He is a huge corporate yes man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, Art, I got sharing my screen. I got a shout out to the chat here. This is
okay. Well,
this is Joe's sexier younger brother. So when you get around to it,
you can get more, you guys, if you click on the DC fandom announcements here. And I guess we're expecting to hear more September 12th. So we'll keep, an ear out for this. I'm taking this right now as a good thing. How do you guys feel about it overall?
I think it could be a good thing. He does seem to have taken a step back from the, like, being so quick to pull the trigger. What the hell? Dude.
Okay, we're going to interrupt this whole.
I know, man. He does seem to taking a step back. Oh, geez, God damn it! Oh my God!
The mini piano man.
It is, yeah.
Oh my God!
Side by
What is
side.
that dude's name?
Paul Williams. Yeah.
Paul Williams. That's right.
Is there someone in the back room?
Perfect, Joe. Perfect.
God. You know what? The thing that I remember him from more than anything else is Smoking the Bandit.
Well, Paul Williams was also in Planet of the Apes. He was the short little orangutan character.
Yeah,
He
He was also in the Muppet movie.
in the Muppet movie. Yep.
Yeah, no, and he's a killer musician actually.
Yeah.
Very talented.
It just unfortunately he's only 5'2". So
For who? Grandparents?
Dude, he's an actual musician.
He is.
Yeah, he plays the piano. He has a horrible voice.
he could barely reach the piano.
Like the Lawrence Welk of
Wait a
the
minute, Todd.
70s.
Are you talking about this man right here who was in the Phantom of the Paradise? How dare you?
Yeah, great movie, dude.
Tell me, dude. Look at this picture. Now take away the glasses, take away his nose, and make him green. Tell me that's not Swamp Thing.
Oh God.
Okay, and I'll go you one. I'll go you one better. Look at his mouth. That's Rob Liefeld mouth.
Oh no.
It's all cocked to one side.
I'm glad that I'm only showing the head and not showing the feet then.
I had a stroke.
Oh, did somebody say feet?
Oh God damn it.
So I want to welcome Patrick Thomas Parnell to Pontificators. How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good. You're gonna get struck showing your feet like that.
Yeah,
Patrick's over here going, "What the hell did I come into?"
You're not allowed to show feet anymore. You know that, right?
Is it indecent exposure?
Is that the Rob Liefeld law? What's going on?
No, it's just YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube's
On
been
YouTube, you're not allowed to show feet anymore.
Is it considered erotic?
Yeah,
dude. They struck somebody for violence and whatnot, and it was like
SpongeBob fight. Yeah,
it's the SpongeBob fight. It was like a bunch of Muppets and beating somebody down, and they flagged it. But
they're panicking.
Actually, Chester got us demonetized last week, so congratulations. So
what did I do? How?
I don't know what the hell we did, but I could not for the life of me monetize last week's Pontificator. So I credit all this always to you, Chester.
Okay, let me get my pen and I'm marking on the calendar another successful day.
Speaking of Rob Liefeld, has anybody listened to his podcast?
No.
Not yet.
Some of it's actually pretty good, but I'd like to get Art. You were there for some of the stuff he's talking about. I would love to get have you listen to the episode and kind of give your take on it.
We could do a Pontificator.
Yeah, because he did a whole series about the Heroes Reborn stuff.
Hey, Art, how do you feel about that Snake Eyes?
What's that?
The Snake Eyes. Yeah.
How do you feel about that Snake Eyes that he just drew?
The red Snake Eyes. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm a sucker for his work. So for with everything that might be drawn wrong, I still love it. I still love everything he does.
It's weird. Shane and I were talking about it, and Shane thinks that he does it on purpose.
Some of it, I kind of wonder sometimes if he does too, man.
Because I mean, he has to see the mistakes, and so Shane actually thinks that he does it on purpose.
No, before Rob and I broke in professionally, we actually had a life drawing class together.
Oh man.
Drawing class together, and he drew from a model pretty much the same way.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to top it off, Jim Valentino was in that class too. So Rob dropped out first, then Jim Valentino, and I stayed in for the whole
and it shows.
Yeah. I will say this about his podcast though. It's it's a lot of fun to listen to. It's interesting. It's interesting what he talks about.
I have an image up. Yeah.
No,
that one's good. See, that one right there is gold.
That's the better looking one.
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
It's not dynamic at all.
There's one with Snake Eyes in red that has
yes,
problems, shall we say?
Yeah. It's awkward, but it's weird. It's got so much style. It's like
he's always had a certain look, that's marketable, even when it's drawn, let's say, not so correct. And I do remember, like I was talking, I used to work over at Neil Adams Continuity, and Continuity said, you know what, Art, style isn't what you do right, style is what you do wrong.
It's true. Yeah. Well, because I mean, really, like if I was to work on a painting, like let's say I was to work on a still life, and I painted it perfectly like a photograph, that's just like a photograph. Like style is all about, like, if you're gonna change the colors, or change the warm and the cool, or you're gonna make it dynamic, what I'm saying? It's like if we drew everything perfect, then we'd all be drawing the same. But style is actually, by definition, mistakes.
Yeah, here's the one.
Holy crap! Jesus, I have better art on my drawn and quartered fan edition every week.
The first thing that pops out is the far forearm is bigger than the close one.
See, I didn't see that. It's like a little chicken wing.
Yeah.
But see, the thing that bothers me about it is the waist. Like, you can Photoshop, you can fix it like really easily. You can just scoot up the crotch and the legs and shorten that whole waist area, that midsection.
And bring down the trapezius, and then make the forearm and hand bigger.
The pouch looks like it's got eyeballs, man. The pouch is.
It's wow. Yeah, why do you guys keep giving Liefeld a pass? I don't get it. I mean, he seems like a nice enough guy. I mean, he seems to love comics.
Here's the thing.
You guys give this guy a pass constantly. What's up with it?
I have a question about this, and Art, maybe you can answer this. I think he does this stuff really, really fast and just blows it out.
Well, you know what it is we all do thumbnails. Patrick knows, Todd knows, like, we do thumbnails, and that's not usually what ends up, like, structurally being your finished drawing, right? You usually do your thumbnail, and then you kind of improve on that. Well, these are always his thumbnails. He doesn't go from the thumbnail to tightening it up. His tightening up is just kind of rendering shadows and line art. It's not composition. It's not form. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not anatomy. It just kind of is just finishing up a thumbnail. And when I mean thumbnail, he's working really, really tiny. And when you work really small, things can look more correct than when they're big. So I don't want to really overly critique, because I don't think it's professional to critique somebody else's work. But I do think that that's just how he chooses to work. Like, he goes from a loose thumbnail, and that kind of becomes the be-all, end-all. And then he kind of finishes it up from there. That's how he's always worked.
Yeah, I mean, it's style for days, There's so much style there.
No, there's not. It's complete shit. Stop it.
No, dude, I'm gonna tell you something right now. As much of the criticism as we were giving that thing, it's better than 90% of the stuff that's being put out.
Yeah, I'm buying it.
How sad is that?
I'm already buying it.
I bought it too. I was like,
I like a centralized scrutinizer here. He says Liefeld gets a pass because he is the Russ Meyer or Roger Corman of comics. It sucks so bad that it's fun to look at. All right.
But
we got two artists right here, these two guys right here that are way better than that. Way better.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, like, speaking for myself, I mean, art, of course, is
Todd's amazing too. This guy over here, he's a really good artist, dude.
Yeah,
Patty wasn't talking about you.
Yeah, well, I didn't know there was any more artists in here. I'm sorry.
That's a good way, Todd, to make the guests feel welcome. Yeah.
well, something that's interesting about his style, because I mean, really, like, you could talk about Liefeld for like his career just so much, because it's just it goes through so many waves. But it's very interesting that his his New Mutant stuff is so, like, amazing. Like, there's these weird, like, distortions in his figure drawing and so forth, but it looks super, super good. It's like he's doing the same thing that he's doing in that Snake Eyes drawing, but he's doing it correctly. It's very strange, because I mean, like, my favorite stuff of his is like New Mutants and Youngblood, like Youngblood #1. Like, that stuff, like, is great. It's just interesting. It's like ever since he did the Heroes Reborn, it was never the same.
Who's paying you, dude?
No, dude, I like
John Malin.
I like Rob.
Oh, that explains it.
I like Rob Liefeld's like his some of his Youngblood stuff. He got it. One of the things that seems to be happening, and this is something that I've noticed in a lot of them, is they kind of like whenever an artist kind of changes up their style and everything, and they hit on something new, his contemporaries kind of like follow suit. And if you look at Mark Silvestri stuff that he's been doing in the last like 4 or 5 years, he kind of went to more of a sketchy kind of style, you know what I mean? With a lot of like Bernie Wrightson type of influence. And you look at Jim Lee's stuff used to be like super refined, and now he's kind of doing that same thing. And I actually watched Rob do one of his drawings live, and he was kind of trying to do the same thing, but he just wasn't able to quite do it. And I wonder if that's part of what's going on with this stuff.
Well, I think the charm with Rob is like he gets compared to Jack Kirby, and I think that's probably the best comparison.
I just threw up in my mouth. What the hell?
Come on, man.
The comparison
was a nice guy.
is that there is exaggeration that is not natural. Like there is exaggeration that isn't you can't find in the natural world. But there's a kinetic and there's an energy to it. And that Rob always has, there's enthusiasm and there's energy, even though it might be like drawn incorrect or by some people's standards incorrect. It always has life and energy to it. And those things are hard to do with artwork, to actually get some kind of emotion in there, get some kind of energy. And I think because he does work loose, it's very kinetic and it's very organic. So it has that kind of bombastic energy to it. And there are very few comic book artists today that can match that, I believe. And so I think that's his gift. His gift is just that bombacity and intensity.
Well, Blue Samurai Zero and I are on the same page here. He says Joe in a wig looks more natural and attractive than Liefeld's art. Damn right.
You mean this Joe right here?
Yeah, that Joe.
Or this Joe right here.
It looks like he's having a seizure.
So hey, let's go to
Hey Patrick, you got a book to promote, man?
Yeah, exactly.
Listen,
I be abused.
I like just hanging out and talking about art. That's fine with me too.
Well, we can talk about Johnny Phantasm art. How's that?
Well, yeah, like things are going super well. Like we're about to pass our first 30 days here in about 6 days. We're sold out of some stuff, restock with some new stuff. That new tier that's right there in the top is a new tier where you can get all of Johnny Phantasm 1977 and a graphic novel, 72 pages, and you can also get Johnny Phantasm 1985 32 pages. And then you get a bunch of
$5 for $85. Was that planned?
Actually, no, I never even noticed that. That's funny.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I never noticed that.
Double or nothing, $85, 1985.
Yeah. But that's the complete thing. You get the original story. You get 85. You get the sticker pack. You get all the buttons, all the cards. Have you seen the Cecil card art?
I think I have, but just in case, is this though? Wait, where is it?
If you go up, there's one at the top. It's like at the top where you scroll through the art. It's like yeah, it's right there.
Right here?
No, right below the trailer, like in the art that you can scroll through underneath the trailer.
I know what you're talking about. Okay,
yeah, right there. There you go.
I'm gonna frame that and put it on my wall.
Oh my God.
So this is 4 trading cards that you collect, and then you can make a puzzle, right? Like the old trading card set.
That's right.
Oh, I like this.
Yep, and then so far we've reached the tier where everyone's getting one Halloween poker chip right now. if people signed up early, they were able to get a special poker chip as well. And then once we hit 20K, we're going to be giving out $20,000 poker chips.
Wow. So how do you cash the $20,000 poker chip?
Well, that's a good question, Art, and I'll tell you. You know that toy that we're making, correct?
Oh yeah, that thing looks awesome.
Well, we're getting 500 of the toy made, but we're only getting 50 to 25 of the glow in the dark version. So if you have that token, you can bring that to FanFest on Friday, and we're gonna have a limited edition of either 50 to 25 of that action figure. But the only way that you can get it is if you have that $20,000 poker chip.
Okay, so we got to get this campaign to 20K at least, right? So people can get that poker chip.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Because I really want to go through with doing a FanFest toy exclusive.
This cover rocks, by the way. Is this your artwork, Patrick?
Yeah, it is. I appreciate that.
Scotch down in my belly.
Yeah. I'm drinking with you tonight, Bob. So we're gonna get schnockered. I got this this bottle to kill tonight.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Getting wild up in here.
This artwork looks great, Patrick. These are all interior pages from the new book.
That's correct. And I am I'm more than halfway done with the book. I kind of had to slow the process a little bit to do some promoting. But I'm trying to get this to people by Halloween. They'll definitely have it by Christmas. But I'm trying to get this out the door by Halloween. Some people might have it by Halloween. I might be fulfilling all the way through Christmas. I'm still going to be taking orders through Christmas as well.
Oh, so you're going to keep it in demand?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it in demand and just, just kind of treat it as a store. Like we're going to add a few more things to the campaign as well. You know those old school superhero collector glasses?
Yeah, those are great. I still have some of mine.
We're gonna do a Johnny Phantasm pair.
Nice.
For a Christmas gift where you're gonna be able to get 4 Johnny Phantasm Christmas cards, and then you're gonna get these 2 collector glasses, and then again you're also gonna get a poker chip.
Oh, very cool. And if you guys thought that Patrick was bluffing about the artwork done, look at all these pages. This is crazy.
You think about doing just a line art book, man? Because I'd buy a book with just this black and white art.
Yeah. That's great.
Well, so here's the plan. We did 1977. We're doing 1985. The next book is Johnny Phantasm 1993. Then we're doing Johnny Phantasm 2001. So when we get to 2001, we're going to do a nice size graphic novel of just everything, and I want to do a black and white version where it's just all the art,
like an omnibus type thing.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Well, do you guys want to see the video? Let's see the video here.
I'm in, Art.
Watch the city lights. Lay the foot down and just cruise.
Wow, it looks great. Is that your band? Because I know you play in a band, right?
Yeah, that was actually one of my bands. Yeah, in my entire life I've been in about 4 or 5 serious bands, and that was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Chester's a musician as well as I am. Yeah, so there's a couple of musicians in the house here.
Right on.
that first part when he like he's driving and it's like that Art Deco like color, like the lights flashing by this man. So I got Glenn Fry, You Belong to the City going through my brain when I'm watching that.
Oh, yeah, it's MTV video style.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, DeLorean.
that was a fun trailer to make. Like that was actually like a collaboration. I did the 2D animation, like him driving in a car with the lights. Like one of my ex-students did the CGI, and then Ascension Cinema kind of spliced it all together and did the voiceover.
Well, very cool, man. It looks great. It looks great. You're at 17.66. Maybe we can add a 6 to that. That would be creepy. And you're at 264. You have 6 days left. So you guys got to get in there. We only have 6 days left. I'm gonna hit this refresh, see where we're at. We need to flip that to another 6, you guys. So go back. Patrick Parnell's book. You have a writing partner. Is that Evan? What does Evan do?
Evan Posios is the co-creator and the writer of the book.
Oh, very cool.
He and I also worked on a book for Caliber Comics called Time Grunts, where he wrote it. Alex Sanchez drew it, and I did the coloring. But yeah, he's a super great guy, and he's a Detroit native, so this story is really important to him. There's a lot of factual things in this story about Detroit that we try to stay true to. I mean, if you're into retro stuff, if you're into 80s stuff, if you like Batman, if you like Daredevil, if you like Dick Tracy, if you're a fan of The Shadow, if you like pulp comics, if you like retro stuff, like this is a good comic book for you.
What if you like 80s stuff and DeLoreans?
Well, you might be into it, yeah.
What if you like poker chips and garbage pail kids?
Yeah, you'll be into that too.
What if you like action figures?
Well, I mean,
now
What if you like whiskey and pantyhose?
You had a previous incarnation of this in the 1977 book. So how many of these have you made, and how many do you plan to make?
Well, we're gonna do 93 next. Johnny Phantasm 1993, and this is kind of interesting. Art, you're gonna love this. Here's my reference that I'm using for the book.
Oh.
There you go.
Bringing it back around, man. Bringing it back around.
So
Black Flag, right? In that
first appearance of Black Flag, that's correct.
Yeah, and Cyber, that was going to be my jam at Extreme. He was like, I remember Rob giving me the pitch. He's like a Swiss Army knife. He's like James Bond, with all the gears and all the gizmos attached to his body.
Yeah.
He's Inspector Gadget, Rob.
So this is kind of like the reference of what I'm doing. So with all the Johnny Phantasms so far, they've been on newsprint, and they've been kind of in a retro style. Like my style has changed a little bit from 77 to 85. Now, when I do 93, I'm going to try to do it kind of like my version of like the Extreme Studios style. You know what I'm saying? And the paper is going to change as well. Like 77 and for 85, we did it on newsprint. We did it with Alterna. But now we're going to move to a glossy paper once we get to 93 to kind of stay with the times. And then after 93 is going to be 2001. Now, 2001 is going to be probably like the end of this story arc for a while. We might take a break, and I've got some other things that I'm dabbling with. But we're trying to get it to 2001. Now, what we're going to do with 2001, how 2001 is going to be different from a comic book standpoint, is the early 2000s is when the graphic novel started to come into into houses a lot more. So 2001 is going to be everything, and 2001 in it is in a big graphic novel. Now, cool. There's going to be a perk where you can buy the graphic novel and a floppy if you want to complete your collection. But we're going to be offering 2001 as a big graphic novel, and it's everything Johnny Phantasm.
Well, I have to ask you, is there a story reason why he's going through the decades like this?
No, the reason is completely selfish. It's just years that I want to draw.
Oh, okay. You just want to draw these different decks.
It's completely selfish, and I think it kind of gives our character some time to kind of stew on his own, at least in the reader's mind, because like there's a lot of the gaps that the reader can kind of fill in, like with their own imagination. Like you're going to see where Johnny left off, and then you're going to see where he picked up, and you're going to have like all these type of ideas of what he was doing in between, and then when we pick it up, it's going to be fun. And like what's fun about 77 is we see him starting off, and then when we see him in 85, he is kind of more established. And then once we get to 93, I mean, he is like, he's almost like the president of like United States. Like that's how big he's going to be.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And then in 2001, he is literally going to be on the moon.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean,
High. Let me read this real quick, Patrick, because there's a question to you as well. Inch High, Private Eye. Remember that cartoon? For $5, thank you so very much. So, Patrick, any chance of getting a prestige edition of Johnny Phantasm 1977 with more pages and extra story?
Well, so like one of the great things about skipping years is there's a lot of years in between. So like we're talking about when we do the toy release, we might do an ash can of Johnny Phantasm in like 1980 or maybe like 1981. But with the three original, with the three Leroy, with the three books that we printed with Alternative Press, those actually had the extra pages that he might be referring to, because about a year ago we did a Johnny Phantasm graphic novel, which was a collection of ash cans. and then we did the 77, and we had some extra stuff in the end. So maybe when we come back out with 1993, there might be some more of those available that have the extra pages in there. But for right now, like the best we have is the Johnny Phantasm 1977 graphic novel that comes with the 1985 as well.
Well,
very cool. Very cool.
I have a screen to share, Art. I was kind of curious of the eye candy you're offering in your book.
Is it anything along these lines?
These lines.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this happens, Patrick. I know this is your first time on Pontificators, but every once in a while, a sexy girl will show up on the stream.
Oh, okay. Well, that's allowed.
Yeah.
I have the connection to the sexy girls.
Her name's Jennifer Connolly.
One of them.
Shut up.
One of them's related to him.
Hang on a minute. I gotta go find that.
Oh no! We got kicked off the air last time. You know what happened. Don't do it.
We have to show Patrick. We have to initiate.
They banned us. What do you? I mean, they kicked us live. What are you doing?
Find the shot with her in the mirror where she's looking at herself.
God,
what is this? What is this we're gonna look at?
Well, you're gonna get knocked. You're gonna get floored by this. Chester's actually related to not just a superstar actor, but a hot actor that Chester doesn't like us showing.
The word is actress.
I was like an actor. I was like, I don't want to look at a hot actor.
He lives in California. Don't blame him too much.
No, they say actors, and
it's actress.
Okay, there we go. Come on, share that out.
All right, is this it? Oh, this is the one that moves. This is the image that moves. Oh, is it?
Oh,
there it goes.
That's Chester's kissing cousin.
So Chester, tell us the story.
What? There is no story to tell. You guys are just going to get me in trouble.
Oh, you're related to her or something?
Yeah, she's my cousin. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Is it?
Yes.
Everyone tells.
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah, and I kept the secret for a long time. The only reason it came out is because these bastards kept showing nudie pictures of her.
There's a picture that she's absolutely amazing. She's stunning.
Oh, yeah, and I just found it.
In the mirror. It's,
I found it. I found it. All right.
It's iconic.
There goes the stream. There it goes.
Well, it wouldn't be Pontificators if we didn't get demonetized. Or actually, we had one stream completely pulled down. Oh, this
Yeah,
one's my favorite.
because you showed this picture. That's right. Oh my God, there.
That's
Right.
art, man. That is
Not
freaking
right.
art.
What is she, 12 here?
Oh,
shit.
man.
Todd.
Definitely getting taken down now.
That and for this.
Yeah, the feet. Yeah.
Oh, man.
All righty, Patrick. I'm gonna wrap it up with the Johnny Phantom stuff. So everybody go out, check out Johnny Phantom. 6 days away from the first 30 days. So time is of the essence. Patrick's a good guy. The book looks great. The character looks amazing. This is what?
I think it's what you're talking.
This is. Wait, hold on. Well, anyways, you guys go. My wife just handed me this this package. So yeah, go back.
Is that my book?
I don't know. Let me.
Is it
Yeah. My wife scores. You talk about perfect timing.
I like recognize the packaging just for a second.
So there you go. Look at that.
This wasn't staged or planned at all.
No, it wasn't. Let me see what else is in here. Look at Patrick coming through.
There might be stickers or cards in the back of them too.
Oh, on this one right here. Yeah. Let me go to my camera real quick because it's bouncing in and out. So you guys indulge me on this. Actually, let me check out of this that I'm in.
Hey.
Hello, everybody.
Wait, what? Like, what was his reasoning there?
His
He's
camera
saying-
was wobbling on him, I guess.
Oh, gotcha. So Jennifer Connelly, huh?
You know how protective my family is of her, and you guys just got to get me in trouble. That's just what it is.
Well, it wouldn't be us if
All
we
right, so
didn't.
now the camera should behave itself. Let me take it out of the plastic so the light doesn't reflect. So this is the one with the trading cards in it. So this is Johnny Phantasm. Look at that. Well, it's still reflecting, but very cool.
So and that's the one that I think the guy was referring to that has the extra pages in the back.
Oh, okay. And then here's the trading cards that and the sticker. So the fronts look like this, and then it looks like we got a puzzle in the back.
Yeah. Fun
Here's
stuff.
another. Look at this. Look at how fun. Very retro.
Ooh, it's like one of those. It's like was it Jim Lee did those X-Men cards where you put them all together and they make the picture in the back.
Yep.
Yeah, little puzzle. These actually do look like baseball cards too, with the banners. And
Well, yeah, they're based off of every 1977 Topps trading card for baseball, basketball, hockey, and football.
Oh, very cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
They look really neat, and they actually feel like the old. I don't know how you did it, but they feel like the old trading cards.
Like isn't that texture weird?
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. Yeah. And then we got this. Look at this. Approved by Comicsgate Alliance. Yes, this is.
Oh, you remember that picture that Mike did? That was Mike that did that picture, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't know if he did. I kind of just came up with that when I was thinking about the old.
No, not that. I mean, he did this big art piece of all the first run heroes that came out in the beginning of Comicsgate.
Oh,
Pretty
okay.
sure that was Mike. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, he did that, and then he did the Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, black and white got in that one. Yeah, so that was cool. Yeah, so yeah, you guys go check out Johnny Phantasm. It's up right now, 6 more days.
You check it out too, Art, because you got 77 in your hands now.
77. What do you mean?
Yeah, the book. That's what.
Oh, now I can get.
Come on, Art.
Well, I don't know. You talk.
Come on, man! You're pulling a Biden here.
Oh.
Oh man, I wouldn't say that.
How dare you?
I got to smile. I got to smile on that side with that one, man. All right, I'm done for the night. Peace.
Todd's doing some heavy lifting on this show. I think he said one line. Wait. Oh, okay, here we go. That's the look. That's the judgmental Todd look. Yes. Well, I don't know. Patrick, have you heard about this guy, Keanu Reeves, who may have a crowdfunding like comic book up right now on Kickstarter? Have you heard of that?
Whoa.
I've heard a little something about it. Yes.
Yeah, I want to hear what you have to say about it, but first, let me preface it with well, you know what? I'll just screen share images, say more, and so let me see if I can find it. Where the hell is it? Is it this?
That's not it.
That's not it.
That's not it.
Oh, here it is, right here. I got 2 Kickstarter tabs.
Jeez,
So
look at that thing going,
going
man.
up. Oh my god.
You could hook a fan up to that and you power your house.
Wow, that was crazy. Yeah, we just witnessed probably about $1,000.
Come on, guys! Like you guys in the chat, if we can help Keanu Reeves, let's keep it going.
Yeah,
We're making this shit go up right now.
You know, the fact that all these people came out against it and then it just made it more successful.
I got some beefcake when you ever want to get over to it. It's to help sell Keanu's book.
Let me just clarify, you guys. This is $418,000 in less than 2 days.
Look at that.
And
yeah, I mean, like my 2 cents on it is, well, first off, like obviously, like I love Keanu Reeves. He's like one of the most amazing people probably on the planet. Yeah. Like every story you hear about him, it's like about him just doing something like amazing, you know. So I think that's awesome, and you know, Ron seems like a cool guy as well. Just the only thing that bothers me is I don't know why they're doing it with Boom. Like, why do they need Boom for this?
Yeah,
why not?
That's exactly my qualm with this as well.
And then my segue is, hold on a second. Like, is all these comics are going to be in the shop for a whole year first, then the backers get their books.
Yeah. Well, let's see Keanu give
so it's kind of like the Allegiance Arts model.
Yeah, we'll get into those details, but I want to let everybody have a little bit of context here.
Okay.
And let's take in some Keanu Reeves here.
Zucker's got everything that you want from a comic book. It's got great drawings, colors, great story. It's got action, has a little romance. It's about something.
Such a great orator.
And I was like, well, I used to collect and I love comic books. And they were like, so did you ever want to make a comic book? I was like, yeah. You know, this idea of kind of biking someone in a altered state, someone in a heightened state, just out of control. You know, someone out of control and being compelled or driven to this thing and time like this. You know, kind of
like Limitless.
You know, this kind of character trapped.
This is along the lines of Zach Your Boys videos.
With this hurt, violent. He understands the cost of it. He finds life precious even after all this time. And I feel with Berserker, we have some masters. Masters doing the drawings, masters doing the color. A master working with me in the way. And the story that we have to tell, I think, is a lot of fun. So check it out. If you do, I hope you enjoy it. Berserker, Boom Studio.
All right, so
Art, I just wanted to remind you, Art, that I have a list here from my wife, and it's at the top, the things I cannot disparage. Keanu Reeves. Okay.
Well, I think we have Patrick here for the disparagement, because I think Patrick's got some definite opinions about this stuff. So now that people know that Keanu Reeves, this is like day 2, just starting day 2. He's cleaning up. So what are your thoughts, Patrick?
Well, I mean, today's also his birthday too.
Well, happy birthday,
Happy
Keanu.
birthday, Keanu.
Yeah. So it's like it's very strange, that there's so much attention at him with Bill and Ted's right now, and then his birthday and this. Like I think it sounds like a great idea. I mean, and I'm excited for it. I just think that the business model is kind of funky. Like it's gonna end up being like $1 million or maybe even more. It's gonna be like maybe like $2 million, but it's gonna be run in comic book stores first. So it's going to be like they haven't even got started on the book. So let's say that the book first comes out like 3 months from now, the first issue. There's going to be holds up. It's not going to be every month. It's going to something's going to happen. It's going to get lagged. I mean, this book is looking like these backers might end up getting this book like 2 years from now. It's going to be a very long time like before these people see this book.
Yeah.
And then another thing is like I don't know why Boom like. Why doesn't like Ron and Keanu and whoever just do this themselves? Like why do they need Boom Studios to do this?
Yeah,
like when you look at all that money, like Boom is just kind of using Kickstarter as a marketing tool here.
Yeah.
It's not even that they're using Keanu Reeves and Kickstarter as a marketing tool, like not as a platform to actually sell something.
For my wife.
Oh God.
But only women exploit themselves in Hollywood.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
We've
what
all
happened-
seen my own private Idaho.
Yeah. I think the whole thing with them going through Boom Studios is like I don't think that they really knew how to crowdfund. And I think Keanu was like, "Oh, there's a legitimate comic book company that's in control of this thing. I'm totally behind it."
Yeah.
Well, if you notice, one of the things he said in his monologue was that they said or they asked.
Mhm.
So he
Yeah.
was approached.
He went there and visited Boom.
Just an old-fashioned love song.
Wait, I wanted. God, you guys stepped all over it. I wanted Joe to keep talking like it was.
He was approached about the project, and as Bob said, he probably doesn't know much, if anything, about crowdfunding.
Yeah.
If he was approached by Boom, which
there's no fault on his end. Like he's like, oh, you're a studio. I work with studios all the time. Okay, listen, Boom Studios. That sounds like Paramount Studios. Let's make a fucking comic book. He doesn't know.
And I think that what probably happened is someone at Boom, whether it was Ross Ritchie or somebody else, I don't know, probably saw the success of Expendables Go to Hell with Stallone's involvement.
I think so.
Imagine if Stallone would have done one of those videos.
Right. Hey, go check out this comic book.
Well, wait a minute. So you don't think it was the success of this book that got their attention? Hold on. It wasn't this book, Joe?
Probably not.
That would have to be successful.
Probably not.
Oh, poor Patton.
Yeah. This was kind of a flop, but this is Star Power. This is Hollywood, so they got 37K. But I digress. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that after the success of Stallone's partnership with your boy Zach and Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan, that essentially laid out a blueprint if other people wanted to use it. And so if you compare that, you've got Stallone, and he's partnered up with Chuck on co-writing, and Graham drawing, and then your boy Zach is the crowdfunding guy, who also is co-writing some of the book. And then if you compare that to what they're doing here with Keanu's book, it's almost a 1-for-1 comparison. You've got Keanu, who came up with the idea as Stallone did, so he's listed as creator, like Stallone. Then he's co-writing with Matt Kint, an experienced comic book writer, just like Chuck Dixon is experienced and co-writing with Stallone. Then you've got Ron Garney drawing,
who's amazing.
Who's amazing,
Guy.
much like Chuck Nolan, who's amazing, both industry vets. So I just think personally that they probably looked at the success of Expendables Go to Hell and just copied that blueprint. And I'm guessing that somebody at Boom said, okay, well, other than Stallone, who's the next? Who's a big action guy who's red hot in Hollywood that we can approach?
Patrick Swayze.
Keanu Reeves.
Oh,
So
You're about 10 years too late for that.
that's my
Damn it.
that's my pontificating as to how this whole thing came about.
Does anybody?
I think you're right.
Is Matt Idelson who's behind this? Because I think Matt Idelson from DC Comics went over and started basically heading up Boom Studios.
oh yeah. Well, he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Okay, I didn't know that.
This, yeah. So I guess it makes sense from one standpoint, but personally, I agree with Patrick. I don't want a big company because this is how I feel about a publishing company getting involved, and I exclude Dynamite from this because Dynamite was doing collectibles. You know what I mean? They were doing more collectibles versus like just a straightforward, comic book. And so I think for me, it has a bad taste because I think crowdfunding should be for the independents, for the people that don't have a corporation to publish through. So it's like Marvel, DC, Boom, Image, Dark Horse, all these companies. I think they shouldn't do that because to me personally, I think it looks tacky because you have an outlet, you have a company that you already have funds, so you don't have to raise funds. You can publish. A lot of them already have credit with printers, so they don't have to put up front money with the printers and stuff like that. So they already have an established way of doing business. They already have a clientele. They already have credit with printers, and they already have a way of shipping and marketing. But people like Patrick, myself, Todd, and eventually Joe is going to, throw his hat in the arena as well, is we don't have that. So it makes more sense for us to go crowdfund. You know what I mean? Because we don't have a company that can bankroll this thing. So the bad taste for me is like, you're Boom freaking Studios. When you do this, to me, it looks weak. It looks like you're not doing very well because you have a publishing company.
Boom isn't breaking any new ground though, because this has been done for over the last 5 years.
Yeah,
They've been on there.
Antarctic Press does it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do have an opinion on that, Art, and it's actually kind of different than yours. Although I would say, Patrick, very nice beard. I don't know about the Milton Dammers haircut, however, but we'll let that pass. But that's frighteners.
Yeah, I don't know. Patrick's pulling it off, man.
I was going to say,
he's beautifully bearded, so unlike our rebel over here.
You want to tell the chat who Milton Dammers is?
Yeah, it's Jeffrey Combs out of the Frighteners, baby.
Yeah. I had a brain freeze for a second, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, baby. I think Jeffrey Combs is the man. But anyway,
wait. Chester just called you creepy, Patrick, by the way.
I'll take that.
You're violating my territorial bubble.
It's the hair.
I'll take that.
Yeah, there you go.
From the forehead.
Yeah.
It would not have been the first time I've ever been called that.
Oh, perfect. But no, Todd's actually 100% correct. I'd say it's more like a decade, though, Todd. People have been using Kickstarter as a marketing tool, like I said, for like a decade, particularly in the board gaming world. This is not a new thing. It's been going on a long, long time. And one of the things I do have to say, although I agree with the shipping aspect of when you're going to get it, also Pedro mentioned the shipping model, which is very expensive, unfortunately. It is one of the better set up comic book pages I've seen, however. And they're still not quite to. Well, yeah, you would hope so, but it's still not at the level of polish of, say, the board game people. They're way they're way ahead of them, but it's better. But I don't have much to say about it. Keanu Reeves is hot. People love Keanu. He's definitely marketable. He's got a lot going on. Not only his movie, he's in Cyberpunk 2077 coming up here in November. He's a hot item right now. So it makes sense for him to try to drop it and make some money. And the marketing thing doesn't bother me at all. I understand the argument, and people have been making that argument for a couple of days now, just screaming and yelling about it. But I have no problem with it.
I think the only person that could outdo Keanu Reeves doing a comic book would be like The Rock. Like if The Rock wanted to do like a comic book or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe William Shatner. He could put an audio in there where he sings it out or talks.
So there was one part of what you were saying, Art, that I would challenge, and that is that if it's a publisher, they have funding. Because Boom, particularly in the last couple days, since this campaign was launched, well, I guess the last day since it was launched, it hasn't been quite 2 days, some tea has been spilled regarding Boom Studios and the way they run things. And there was a tweet thread about it specifically, and one of the people in it was an inker who was saying they got paid $20 per page for inking comics for Boom.
Wow. That is horrible.
And a bunch of other people chimed in and talked about how that is not a one-off. That's more or less kind of standard rate for over there. And I think there might have been some pencilers and writers chiming in. I don't remember exactly. I didn't have a lot of time to go through it, but
that's horrible.
There are. I think we're going to see more and more of this because the financial landscape looks bleak for comic book publishing in the mainstream. So I think this is just one of many.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say is that they have resources. There should be no reason for them to do this. I think it's great, like the way Zach did it, with Stallone and all that, because that to me is true indie. You know what I mean? Like he went to an indie guy, a guy that crowdfunds, a guy that puts out books himself. It wasn't a corporation. It was a guy that crowdfunds. So for me, I can applaud that and get behind it at 100%. Do I have a problem with Keanu Reeves? No. Do I have a problem with any of the creative people, Ron Garney, Matt Kind, any of those guys? No, I don't. But I do think it leaves a bad taste when you have a company that supposedly already has these avenues. You know what I mean? They already have printing. They have credit with the printers. They should already have capital to invest in these things, and they have distribution already. So they already have all the channels that you need set up to put out a comic book and succeed. So I do understand the climate is changing, and it's going to be more and more tempting for these smaller publishers to do things like this. But personally, I don't like it. If Keanu wanted to do something independent, that would, like truly independent, that would have been great. But this is really a Boom Studios project,
Yeah, but if I could interject in that, Art, I mean, I get your. Well, I'm going to anyway. I get your point of view, but take a look at it like this. However, now we know all of these comic book companies and publishers, and we know all these people. But how many of the general public know Boom Studios, right? Not many, right? Kickstarter, on the other hand, is a huge venue. Everybody knows it, whether they use it or not. Keanu Reeves getting on the news now, whether the people complaining or not, it's saying, "Ooh, Keanu's doing something," right? And we're seeing it pop up right in front of our eyes. That is a great advertising tool, dude, to get to a larger community that you would never get to otherwise.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Speaking, you talked about how in smaller publishing companies and stuff are going to do this. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of the bigger ones starting to do this to offset their costs. With some of their top books, they're not going to have to do that with. But some of these smaller projects and stuff, like these books, like we were talking about, like Jim Lee talking about how over a third of their books didn't really make any profit. I see them taking titles like that and going to crowdfunding, this kind of a model that like Boom's doing here, get those books put out to offset the cost.
Absolutely.
I've seen this done in the toy arena last year when I think it was Hasbro, if I'm not mistaken, where they did that Jabba the Hutt sail barge, like very limited run, and they surveyed people, said, "Hey, we'd like to do this, but we know we can't mass market it. We won't make our money on this, but if we did a limited run, would you guys be interested? And there was enough direct customer support that they backed it and they made it, shipped it out, and so far people seem to love it.
They're doing it with
Spawn too.
Yeah, look what Todd did. He didn't need to do that. The guy's got money for days.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if they're high-end collectibles, like I said, with like Dynamite, I think it's great. Like, if you're going to do collectibles, like one-of-a-kind type things, it makes sense even if you're a big-name corporation, because they're not going to be able to mass-produce this. Like, these things aren't created for the mass market.
Like something that I'm predicting is, like, kind of hear me out. Imagine like something like Marvel Knights coming out and doing a Kevin Smith Daredevil story drawn by like Joe Quesada and like inked by Jimmy Palmiotti again, or something like that, you know, like something big, you know, or imagine this, imagine Jim Lee doing a Batman story that's only going to be available through like some type of online thing that Warner Brothers sets up. Like a big giant like Jim Lee Batman book or something like that. Like I think that I've actually been talking about this for a while, and I have been using Hasbro Pulse as a good example. But I think this is kind of the way that they're going to be going. I think they're kind of seeing like the way that the market is. The market wants direct to consumer. Everyone loves just clicking a button and getting it from Amazon or Walmart or Target and just it being delivered to the house. I think some of these big companies. I think Boom is just the first. I think they're all going to start doing this now.
Yeah, I don't fault them for trying it. I think, but it's an act of desperation. I don't like it personally. I think it's an abuse of what these crowdfund platforms are all about. And I think they're going to flood the market and fuck everything up the way they did, you know, their direct market stuff. I don't like what they're doing, and I don't trust them. I think that this should be independent and that this should be creator driven. You know, stuff like what you're doing with Johnny Phantom and Phantasm, and, you know, like Florida Man and Black and White and Chrono Mechanics. Like these are personal. These are IPs that are alternatives to the mainstream. When the mainstream comes in and starts using an indie platform, then the indie platform isn't independent anymore. It just becomes mainstream, and that's why I don't like it.
Well, I think the people that are kind of going, this is a pun intended, going berserk over the Berserk book, they're kind of mainstream comic people. Like, they're not collectible people. You know, it's like, I still think, you know, Comicsgate and Indiegogo and that type of stuff, I think it's still very going to be like limited runs, you know, under 5,000 for sure of things, you know, and I think the collectors like that stuff more. I mean, this Berserk book is going to be everywhere. It's going to be in the comic book stores, and then once it comes out, like, you know, Boom is gonna put it in comic book stores too as a graphic novel. You know, it's like
it reeks of the worst of like Hollywood. Like, what they're going to do is this is the template for the Keanu Reeves movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, like, this is not true indie spirit. This is not, you know, I mean, if it was, Keanu Reeves would be, you know, like the, you know, he'd be going to independent people, doing it truly independently and not through a company. I don't fault Keanu Reeves doing it.
No.
I don't fault those guys, you know, working on it. I just don't like the idea of corporate America being involved with an indie platform. That's my main thing.
I get your point, but what happens if you have some house mom, right? She sees Keanu's doing a comic. She doesn't care about comic books. She just loves Keanu Reeves, as most women do. And she goes over and she gets that comic book and she gives it to her kid. And it's the first comic book the kid's ever gotten. And they read it and it's well done and they like it. And then they start getting into collecting comic books. Isn't anything that promotes and rises comic books better than not?
Well, how's she gonna know?
Wow,
Like,
well put.
This is not mainstream. This isn't mainstream. This is still very independent.
Yeah, but Chester has to do these things because his wife told him, "You're not getting dinner if you go on that show and talk badly about Keanu."
We're not even talking.
I got this paper here from my wife, and it has a list of things that Keanu Reeves is at the top. So,
Yeah, we're not even talking like smack on Keanu. I'm not talking smack about any of the
No,
creators.
I know.
And I'm not even faulting Boom, to be honest with you. I think, in this marketplace, it seems to make complete and utter sense. But I do think it's still a Hail Mary pass. I do think it's an act of desperation, because when the direct market isn't serving their purpose anymore, then they're coming in and they're trying to take, some of the attention away from indie creators and doing stuff this way. Because I think it's like, I think Joe said, if the Expendables wasn't as successful as it was, and if Patton Oswalt's creator book wasn't as successful as it was, I don't think they would be looking at this survival platform.
But they're also seeing Ethan and Doug TenNapel making $1 million off a book. You don't think they're going to?
Are you saying that so your fear is that they're going to basically that all of them are going to start doing this?
I don't have a fear per se. I just don't like it. Like it doesn't feel right to me. It just feels like the independents are independent, and these other books, they already have a way of doing business. So I don't feel like that because we don't have that. I can't go do what Boom does. I can't do that. I don't have that as an avenue. It's not even something that I can entertain. So they already have that way of selling and doing the whole distribution route. But I don't have access to that. So I have access to this. This is how I do business. So like I said, if Keanu was doing it independently, that would be fine. But as a company, I don't like that, because Patrick even said, if Marvel wanted to do that, what's stopping Marvel from doing it? And we're gonna get what did you say? You said Kevin Smith or something to do a Daredevil project. Well, I just think that's an act of desperation. I think that's like, fucking fix the system that you broke.
Yeah.
Go fix it and go conduct business that way and leave us the hell alone. The reason we're doing what we're doing is because you said the fuck off. You know what I mean? So just to be blunt about it, that's why this exists. That's why people are doing this, because the mainstream decided that they weren't going to play nice with
the whole DC fandom thing was a real eye opener to me, especially with that new guy from esports.
Yeah,
dude, they put Jim Lee in the corner. They put him in the corner.
In the corner. Well, it's interesting because it's like he looks at the Batman symbol and he sees like the Nike swoosh. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Right.
It's like he's not thinking about like character development and stuff like that. Like he sees branding. And then everything, it's like I watched a lot of the fandom videos, and really I heard a lot about video games and movies and TV shows, and I heard very little about comic books. I heard more about Jim Lee than I did comic books.
Yeah.
And it's very clear where they're going. Now, I think that DC could do something like a Vertigo or a Black Label or some type of boutique type of comic book line where they do exclusive, kind of like a crowdfunding Hasbro Pulse type model, where it's like, hey, Jim Lee is going to do this 100-page graphic novel this year. Like, you can get it for like $40 or $50, and you can get a toy with it, or you can get all this merchandise, like exactly kind of what Todd McFarlane's doing, but with a comic instead of a toy. I can totally see them doing that.
Oh, I can too. And like I said, if it's kind of a high-end collectible, like one of a kind, that's kind of separate from the rest of their line, then maybe,
and imagine Jim Lee has his pages for sale. You know what I'm saying? Like the tier where you can buy a Jim Lee page for like $5,000.
Right.
It's like it would be it'd be a madhouse. But I think we're going to start seeing more of that. I think whether it's going to be indie or mainstream, I think that's just the market,
Right.
And we just have to kind of keep our content better. We have to be more creative. We have an advantage because we've been doing it longer. So it's like they're all going to be coming over here eventually. Hopefully they stay at Kickstarter, But I mean, I think it's just the way that the market is going to be all around for everybody.
I agree.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think it's a viable. I mean, obviously it's viable, and their market, what their way of business is going the way of the dodo.
Mhm.
So they're just going to hop on what Comicsgate and what we've been creating for the last 3 years. It does make business sense, and I
think we should get a pool.
I don't say that it's bad, like from their point of view. I just don't like it personally because I think it's an abuse. I think like these two entities exist, and the reason they're special is because it's a creator-owned vision, and it should be somebody that doesn't have those outlets to be able to conduct business that way. Mm-hmm. And I think once the corporate America comes in, it's going to cease to exist.
Probably.
And what's going to stop them from flooding the market and destroying things? If Jim Lee wants to sell something based on Jim Lee and come over and do an independent IP, kind of like Sean Gordon Murphy did, I'm all for that.
Like a new Wildcats?
Right, but if he's going to come over and do Batman, that feels cheap to me. You know what I mean?
Well,
just a quick thing. I got to go get some coffee, but just to interject here, with Keanu Reeves, I saw some Keanu Reeves is a millionaire. I'm sure he is, and of course he's got his new motorcycle company, and those things look amazing. But I don't think Keanu's anywhere near as rich as you think he is. Keanu throws a lot of his money at charity, man.
Yeah.
That is an actual good human, a rare thing to find in Hollywood.
If I remember correctly, he doesn't even really own a house or anything. He just kind of moves around.
He's very, very charitable person.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and I want this campaign to do well for him and the other creatives. I just don't think they need Boom to do it, and I would have liked to see that part of the equation taken out. That's the only problem I have with any of this is that that Boom is attached. That they have a company that already has a business platform that they should be marketing and selling through. Because also, I don't know, it feels like a cheap shot to retailers. I know that they're going to sell to retailers eventually, but in the meantime, it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to sell them here on the internet, and then you're going to sell it in a retail capacity? Isn't everybody that bought or wanted the book already going to buy the book, on your Kickstarter? Who's going to be left to buy it at the retail store,
Yeah, it's I don't know. There's some positives out of it. There's some negatives out of it. I just think that I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of this stuff, and I don't think it's just going to be from the smaller companies. I think you're going to see it from the bigger ones too. Those projects that they don't want to really put,
it's interesting because, about a year and a half ago, I pitched a Transformers World War II book to them, and I pitched it to them as a crowdfunded book, and they were like, no, they weren't interested in crowdfunding, and I bet you anything like they're going to start the crowdfunding soon.
Oh yeah, I think everybody's going to, because it's where people are making money. When you start doing something like EVS and you throw up $1 million, then it gets people's attention, and that speaks volumes. So then you're going to get more of these cash grabby kind of people coming in and using their celebrity to throw up those kind of numbers. And just think about this too, like for like Jim Lee or something like that, to come in and to throw up $1 million, $2 million, or whatever in a crowdfund, for him personally, that's a great ego boost. You know what I mean? Like that alone is, for somebody like that, it's worthwhile just to go into that arena. You know what I mean? Just to show like, well, I can kick ass in this arena. I can throw my hat in here and I can throw up some crazy numbers. I can break sales records and then go back to my DC job,
Yeah. And to answer, Bogus Fortune had a good question. He says, what's stopping Marvel and DC if they try using Kickstarter or Indiegogo? They do it with some crap book like Kamala Khan with crap writing. It would fail because real comic fans would not buy it. Dude, there's a lot of stuff that's on Kickstarter and Indiegogo and stuff that is not great stuff, but it gets funded. And I can see them using this to offset their production cost.
That's
what I mean?
fair.
And
Well,
when
the
you-
new Avenger game is being they're pushing a lot of that crap too, Bob.
Yeah, and if you put the DC logo on something, you're going to get people that are interested. You know, DC or the Marvel logo. So
Some other great comments from the chat. Pablo Romero Art said, "Here's the problem. If the mainstream gets into this, they will contaminate it with their politics." And a follow-up to that from, oh, where did it go? I lost it. Somebody was saying that look at what happened with YouTube, where corporate interest came in and essentially took over what was a platform for independent creators.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been slowly turning into a platform for corporate interests.
Well, that's exactly my fear. My fear is that you change the dynamic of what it was set and designed to do. You know, it makes good business sense for them in the here and now, but long term, you're going to destroy these platforms. I'm 100%. I guarantee that will happen.
Yeah, point of order. Pablo is out of order. He is only allowed to say scandalous things. How dare you, Pablo?
That is true. Chester has spoken. You need a gavel.
I do. I could probably find one.
Holy shit, man! That would be a great addition to the Pontificators, man.
It would be. I got a back scratcher with a thingy on it.
Thingy on it.
Order of the court.
I want to look at something better than that.
All right, fine.
Here. This is something better than that. Here, go Art. Put that up there.
Oh my gosh! Here we go.
You're an absolute bastard. You know that.
Who is that?
I don't care.
know,
She's
but
hot. She's got a gun.
She
Girls
is beautiful.
look up,
Yeah.
man. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's the best thing in the world.
I like that she has the towel over the wall so she doesn't scratch her forearm.
Yeah.
Actually, you kind of looks like my wife.
Wait
Nice.
a minute! How dare you?
Women's with the gun.
That looks like my wife. What?
Yeah. My wife's quite fit, actually.
That's much better than Chester with his back scratcher.
Hey Chester,
Uh-huh.
you know who that looks like? That looks a little like your wife.
No, the first one did a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Or Jennifer Connelly.
Shut up!
Look at
I'm
Bob.
banging my gavel thingy.
Order in the court. How dare you? You're spoke out of turn. Wow. I like
That's a
it.
terrifying looking woman.
That's a great looking gun though, man.
Bad baby.
Here you go. Here you go, Chester.
Oh my gosh, look at that. She looks like she
Uh-huh.
could handle it. Girls like big guns. That's
Yes,
what I'm
Yes,
getting.
they do.
Yes, they
I've
do.
been told that several times.
They like all the guns.
That chick ain't messing around. Why can't they get one of these chicks to play Sarah Connor?
Yeah, right?
I would totally watch that movie.
Their bodies are not natural. This isn't what happens in reality art.
Well, I don't know. That's a real person.
I don't
Yeah,
think so.
you
It's
shut-
digitally airbrushed,
You
I'm
shut
sure.
the hell up, man.
The only thing that I want to know, is where are her organs?
That's
In her
right.
boobs.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they're where they're supposed to be. They're just, highly defined and well taken care of. Look at her. She's like a cutie.
Yeah.
A cutie with a gun. I don't think she knows how to shoot that thing, though.
Absolutely
No, I
not.
don't.
She's pointing it the
No,
wrong
she doesn't.
way.
Although there is some trigger discipline going on here, though, in some of these pictures, though.
Yeah. Yeah. You can tell the ones that have handled one before. And the ones
Yeah.
that-
Yes, we can tell the ones that have handled one before.
Here we go.
Experienced ladies.
God bless the Marine Corps.
God bless. Semper Fi, baby.
That's not a photograph. These are paintings.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
There
She's
you
standing at attention.
Yep.
So, Patrick, do you
Come on.
like the Pontificators?
Yeah, it was a good time.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. Patrick's like, yeah, look at this. I get my candy. What does that say, Patrick? What is that? What are you drinking?
White Claw.
Oh, wait, hold on. There it is.
Hard seltzer.
There you go. Okay.
Hard seltzer. This is actually some of these are actually pretty damn good as far as composition is concerned. Look at this one.
Oh my gosh, Bob's obsessed now.
That's a damn good black and white photo, man.
No hips. She's out.
Oh my God.
That is definitely a white girl. She's all bust and no hip.
Yeah, I agree with Pablo. Organs are overrated.
Yeah.
Well, Chester, surgery can do a lot, but if a man is born with a narrow pelvis, you know what's he gonna do?
That's fair. Yeah, it's fair. Yeah. We shouldn't be so judgmental. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh my gosh, that one was just spread. She's too adorable to be shooting guns. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, definitely no.
She's
No,
man
baby.
spreading, man.
She is man spreading.
You know what she's saying right here? She's saying, take a shot.
There you go, Chester. There's one with hips.
No, that's just a fat ass. That's not the same thing.
How dare you? She's got the rainbow bra.
Yeah, Pablo's. I'm already following the Instagram for reference. Yeah, me too.
Oh my God.
It's reference. It's for reference. That's what it is.
Now Pablo can draw a sexy girl.
Yeah,
That's for damn sure.
yes, he can.
Yeah, she'll kick your ass, this girl right here.
That's okay.
How come there are no Asians? Where's the love?
Oh my God.
Oh,
here
lovers, not fighters.
She got a little Asian in her. I kind of think maybe, I don't know.
Just a little Asian
Yeah,
in her?
maybe Jackie Chan, but that's not what I'm talking about.
She's got a friggin' Sailor Moon shirt on, man. Come on.
I like how she's holding like her left hand.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Oh man.
She's hiding the best part right there.
Oh,
are
no.
those things painted on?
I don't
I
know.
guess.
No, there's a seam to it. It's just really, really tight.
Do you think that the removal requires the use of some external tool, like some sort of denim peeler?
I don't know.
And peeler.
It's possible.
I'm kind of wondering where you were going with that, but all right.
Yeah, it sort of paid off.
There she goes.
Yeah, I'm calling racism. No, there's no Asian chicks. That's it. I'm out.
Ooh, no, hey, there's one.
She's
That's
a half.
not an well.
She might be a half.
That's what I call a makeup Asian. That's not. It doesn't count.
How dare you, you racist son of a bitch.
My God, Chester, you are, man. You seriously, my God.
I bet that Pablo knows half of these girls by name, and Chester knows the other half.
Probably have names.
Wants to know these girls by name.
They have names.
They have names.
Maybe.
Let's actually up. Hey, man. Hey, I like what I like. What do you want me to tell you?
I like that one.
She's got the devil may care look.
That's all right. I dig it.
I dig all this. This is all. Yeah.
It's some good stuff, man. I'm trying. Oh, here we go. There you go, Chester. There's one.
She's going commando.
Is she a makeup Asian too?
Yeah. Well, I just came back, but yeah, that's Latinx.
Oh my
Certainly
God.
not.
You are so.
But what's up with all the damn tattoos, man? So didn't anyone tell these girls that girly tattoos are very restricted and that they're ugly? Huh?
Bogus Fortune says Jim Steranko knows all of them by name.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, what is that thing with the? I mean, certain tattoos on a girl look great, but other like a full sleeve, man, they don't look good. I mean, on a guy they look fine.
That depends, man. I've seen some women that have full sleeve tattoos and they're hot as hell.
No, they're not. You're lying, Bob.
This is great
No.
reference, Bob. You need to send this to me later in the private chat.
Oh no, God, no! You got to get your wife's nearby.
There you go, Chester. You can't.
Yay! Proper Asian.
I found one, and she's got
a little bit of booby. She's pushing out as far as she can. She's trying. You go, girl.
She got the smallest gun of all of them.
She does. Aw.
She knows how to use it.
Oh, and here's another one. She's in the
Yeah.
the bridal dress. There
Skinny
you go.
little legs. They're not even bothering with the breast on that one. It's like, no.
I'll hide it with the elbow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There you go. That's pretty dope. I like that.
That's very pandemic of her.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That chick's on lockdown.
Oh, I gotta go. You missed the best one. What are you doing?
I don't want to
some of these. Yeah, some of these will get them struck.
Get me struck, yeah.
I'm trying not to get the stream completely broken.
There's a tank girl.
Yeah.
All right. Should we move on?
Probably. Yeah,
they're getting worse as I go down. So
they are. Yeah.
Do we have a show anymore?
Oh, I forgot to turn the camera back. There we go.
Yeah, tactical cheeks. Yes, they are.
Yes. We did have another subject to talk about, I think, didn't we?
I don't know.
Did we?
Yeah. Something about Bollywood.
Like, I hate all of you.
Well, Hollywood was Keanu. So I think Joe had some other Hollywood takes of like Zach Braff going. And then even wasn't Brian Fuller for Pushing Daisies to try to get some kind of funding. So Hollywood has tried to fund some of their projects. But that's different than comic books.
Yeah, I mean, my point earlier in the day when we were discussing possible topics for the show was just that, going back to 2013, I found examples of Hollywood trying to crowdfund, budgets for their projects, and there were certain people shrieking about it back then, and so it's not a new thing. It's more or less new for the comic book scene, but in other forms of entertainment, this has been going on for quite a while. And
that I like Zach Braff and even Brian Fuller to bring back Pushing Daisies was like it still had like an indie feel to it. You know what I mean? They were their creative vision. And with Brian Fuller, I mean, he was pulling it away from the corporation, to fund and to do an independent, of that. So I think that those examples, the spirit was still intact, so I'm down with that.
Well, in those projects, and definitely with Zach Braff specifically, I know that he and the other producers, they tried to get funding in and around Hollywood and the indie film scene first, and after their funding efforts failed, I think as a last resort they went to Kickstarter.
See, I applaud that. I think that's great, and I think CG is eventually going to do stuff like that too, where we'll go and fund video games, or like Patrick's already doing toys, and
Nice.
Ethan's doing toys. So I think we're going to start branching out into video games, short animation, short movies.
Like the animation thing is rough because that's hard to monetize. But
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
like when we were coming up with the toy for Johnny Phantasm, I know this sounds funny talking about it like this, but we were either going to make an app game, or we were going to put that money into making a toy. And I just know more about toys, so that's why we wanted we went towards making a toy. But there was a time when we were going to make a type of app game, we were going to buy an engine, like a Joule type of engine.
Yeah.
And then just make assets and just make them Johnny Phantasm assets, because I mean, like Johnny Phantasm is gambling themed anyway. So we decided to go with the toy. I actually brought up a picture. I don't know if you guys have seen it before.
Yeah, I was hoping that you would be able to share. Is this the action figure?
This is the glow in the dark one. That if we get to the 20K mark, everyone gets the poker chip that makes this toy available for them at FanFest. We're only going to get 50, possibly only 25 of these made. But we're making a purple version of this for Johnny Phantasm 1977. We're making a black version of this that goes with 1985. And then we're also making a translucent green one. And then we're making a limited run of the glow-in-the-dark ones.
Who's doing your modeling?
This was sculpted by an ex-student of mine who works for Hasbro. And he just designed like that new G.I. Joe Classifieds line that just came out.
Yeah.
He designed like the Snake Eyes and the Roadblock and stuff like that, or not designed them. He sculpted them.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's cool.
And he's worked on Star Wars. He's worked on a bunch of things.
That's nice.
Yeah. And then like do you guys follow toys at all?
Not really. Yeah.
Well, are you guys familiar with Super 7 or that Reaction line?
Mm-hmm.
The same people that made those are making our figures.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
No, it's good to have someone inside the industry who knows what they're doing. That'll help you out a lot.
Well, I mean, we kind of stumbled across it because I started working with a guy and he kept on talking about his partner, and then come to find out his partner was Super 7.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's good also to have those contacts and kind of share it around the community as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm already trying to hook Cecil up with an action figure.
There you go. Because there's, other stuff. I'm going to be far less busy in the nearish future. And one of the things I can definitely help a lot with in the community is if people want to do like board games or collectible card games, stuff like that. That's kind of my thing. So hopefully there'll be some interest in that. Maybe we can branch out in that direction as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That'd be great. I was thinking about that earlier today.
Yeah, I actually think I have a couple of Super 7 figures. I have the series they did for the movie They Live.
Yep.
Yeah, got a couple.
Those are great toys.
Yeah. But that's cool.
Yeah,
man.
so the same factory that made those is gonna be making ours.
Cool. You gonna have them,
sweet.
You have them on card backs and stuff like that?
Yep. They're gonna be on card backs. We're gonna give you an option because it's gonna be through Indiegogo, where you can get a crowd or you can get a one that's backed with a bubble. But if you also want, you can order a loose one to go with it because some people want to have one on display and they want to have one out of the box.
Right. That's cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah. When are you going to put out the action figures? I didn't see a tier for it.
Oh no, it's gonna be a different campaign.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm thinking when we're starting to fulfill 1985 is when I'm gonna put up the page for the action figure.
Okay. So is that going to be a campaign just for the action figure?
It's gonna be based on the action figure, but there's gonna be comic books involved.
Okay.
Oh,
but
nice.
the main crux of it will be for the action figure.
Yeah.
Very good.
Cool.
I'm going to be watching. So do you guys have anything to add? You want to kind of start winding down a little bit?
Yeah. I really wanted Joe to get into, or maybe Bob to get into the Bollywood thing.
Well, so I'll just say quickly that there's been some recent news that the Eternals movie coming from the MCU is going to have a Bollywood music and dance number in it. And apparently it's because they cast a guy from India, or at least his family's from India, as one of the Eternals. And the director thought that since they had an Indian guy in the cast, they should put a Bollywood music dance number
Sure, why not?
into their MCU film.
Why not?
Yeah, because that screams comic books.
You're talking about the Kumail Nanjiani?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jack Kirby and Stan Lee definitely had that in mind way back when.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Dude, look, man. I said, I'm so go ahead.
Casting
Well,
a
no,
woman
I was just going to mention that.
and yeah.
Right. But there was I think a Matt Damon spy or some guy. It was Chris Hemsworth. He did a spy movie recently. I saw it on Netflix. It wasn't bad at all. And the Indian actors in it were freaking spectacular, dude. I was really shocked.
I've actually watched a few Bollywood movies. There's some really, really good actors over there.
Yeah, but the music kills me. It freaking kills me.
Yeah, but this is not a Bollywood movie. This is them going, let's just hammer this crap in here. But you know something? The movie's gonna do well because it's Marvel, and Marvel very intelligently have engendered themselves an entire generation of fans. And as long as the movies hit those Marvel beats, they will be successful, at least for a while.
You know what, Bob? I disagree. I think it's your toe talking right now.
It is. It's the infection going to your brain.
I don't disagree. I just wanted to be funny. And also, I just think that the Eternals is it's such a specific kind of reality. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like it's going to break the reality of the Eternals to bring in a Bollywood number. You know what I mean? I just don't know how they're going to bring that in thematically.
Because they're going to try to do it like Guardians of the Galaxy. They're going to try and make it goofy.
Yeah, Guardians.
Probably.
I'll tell you, Guardians 2, for me, I know there's a lot of people that are big Guardians 2 fans, but I thought that movie was horrible, actually. I thought the first one, it just hit on every cylinder. I thought the follow-up, it felt like they were basically just going, checklist. This is what worked the first movie. This is what worked the second movie. Don't worry, Chester. We're not bringing Keanu into this discussion.
I just wanted to mention number 4 on the list, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, is it? We can't talk about that?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Obligation.
You're going to be sitting on the couch because I'm going to talk about it. I think it's...
What can we talk about? 2 at least? Because 1 is flawless.
I'm just kidding.
Well, with the Eternals, one of the things that has stuck out to me like a sore thumb is that most of the news that has come out that I have found about that film has to do with their casting decisions and them bragging about how they're checking all of these different diversity check boxes, casting a male character with a female actress and casting all these different people of different colors and different ethnicities and so on and so forth. And then after they finished with that, their big news was they were going to have 2 guys kissing and they were going to make a big deal about it.
Are you serious?
I am. I'm totally serious. Nothing about the story. Nothing about
the story.
This is their woke shot. That's what it is.
So this was a Marvel official press release that said these things?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they did it at Comic-Con. At Comic-Con last year, they brought the cast out onto the stage for the panel that they were doing, and it was all about their wokeness when it came to the writing and the casting, but they told you next to nothing about the story of this film in and of itself, or what it's going to do for the MCU in general, other than open up more cosmic storytelling, which is what they said about Guardians of the Galaxy, which is what they said about Thor 3, which is what they said about Captain Marvel. So it hasn't added anything really to the MCU other than them crowing about how wonderfully woke they are.
Yeah, the other thing that's coming out as well is that it's almost like they're writing the movie and rewriting it on the fly, because supposedly Thanos was going to be a part of it, and then he wasn't, and then it's going to be young Thanos, and then it's just like it's almost like they're doing that thing where they write the script by committee.
Well, that would make sense, though. Yeah. But the thing that really got me, though, with that, Joe, was the fact that, the Eternals is already multi-ethnic already. Yeah. And they went and they not only did they do some gender swapping, which, of course, they're always going to do, but they actually swapped races that were already, POCs. Yeah, I mean, what, huh? It's weird. It's weird.
It's called overshooting the mark.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's just like that thing. You can never be woke enough.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how people respond to it.
Yeah,
I think Black Widow will do well just because people have been in lockdown, and if it ever is theatrically released, I think it will do well. And then we'll see where the next phase of Marvel movies leads us. I don't hold out much hope, to be honest, for the next phase.
I hope we're wrong. I hope it's an amazing movie.
I want to be entertained. Right, I agree with you. I don't want to see any of this stuff tank because I like watching good superhero films. I like watching these things, and I like seeing them succeed. I have no vested interest in them not. but I don't want to see agenda, and I don't want to see crappy films. Like, I don't want to see things that I love be destroyed. You know what I mean? Like, that's the worst. And
yeah, I feel bad for Kirby's legacy though, man, because you got the New Gods being done by that absolute hack over at DC, and now you have this Eternal thing which they've turned into an agenda film. It's like frickin'
The
man.
thing about the New Gods movie though is that there's reports about there's turmoil on that thing because that thing seems to be in developmental hell.
Well, it should be in developmental hell because that thing is a monumental and should be very respectfully put together. Because that is Kirby's swan song right there, and if DC and Warner Brothers does not hold that in those highest regards and uses it in any way that it's not designed to be, I think it will be a crime. I think the comics industry will definitely, like, if they're not already outraged at, up to this point, they're going to just hit the roof.
They've already done it, Art. I mean, Deneuve, whatever her name is, she's already proven that she's a hack and incapable, and that's who they put in charge of it, dude. So I mean, and she's come out and she's speaking woke language left and right, dude. That's what I'm saying. It's a real sad thing. We don't have time to do it today, but we might want to think about dropping one of our topics on Pontificators here to talk about the future of sit-down cinema. Because right now things like AMC and some of the other big cinemas around the world they're bankrupt.
Regal, yeah.
They're in a lot of trouble.
To kind of wrap a bow on the Eternals and Chester's point about Ava DuVernay with the New Gods. Here's the thing. I can't remember what the director of the Eternals did before they gave her that gig. I remember being unimpressed, and then she was handed this huge movie. With Ava DuVernay, her film before that job was A Wrinkle in Time, which was a huge bomb.
It was a really bad movie.
It flopped harder than a European soccer player.
Yeah.
And she had this New Gods job just handed to her after that kind of result. So, I don't have high hopes for New Gods. Like Bob said about Eternals, I hope New Gods ends up being a phenomenal film. I hope Eternals ends up being phenomenal, but so far I don't have a lot that gives me hope.
I want to see Jon Favreau do every superhero film.
Every superhero film, every Star Wars film.
Yeah.
The director of the Eternals is Chloe Zhao. Yeah, she's done almost nothing. So
yeah. We've seen a lot of that. Like the new Spider-Woman movie or TV show that they're talking about is given to a complete unknown with no experience as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The last movie she made $4 million at the box office. So
4?
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
How much did it cost to make?
Probably 4. I don't know, man.
Well,
$10 and a webcam. I don't know.
Why is she even working? That's crazy.
Because she got a bunch of accolades and awards.
Ethan got $1 million on a comic book. You can't generate $4 million for a movie.
That's true.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, man, honestly, they own the property. They can do whatever the hell they want with it. So
that's true.
This is hilarious. Central Scrutinizer says New Gods might be Warner's time for Hitler.
Hey, the producers, man. Nice reference.
You know what? If it goes down that route, then at least there might be some entertainment in it. We might get a laugh or two, like if they played up for shits and giggles. But if they try to do it in a serious manner, I don't hold any hopes out for it.
It's a really good movie, actually.
Springtime for Hitler, like the
producers.
I love that friggin' movie, man. Gene Wilder's awesome.
I never saw the stage production, but I saw pieces of it. Everything that they've done with that idea has all been gold, man.
Yeah.
Done well. It's a great idea.
Yeah. But hey, well, it is what it is, man.
But we can, Chester. We can do a show on the future of theaters and where that's going to go. Because also, like, I just went to the drive-in and saw Bill and Ted, and I had a great time. So I think,
man, they're coming back.
And we went to the theater. The line, holy shit! I'm not kidding. Like this is not people; these are cars.
Mhm.
They went a city block in the one direction, and then to come in the other direction, it went a city block, and then around the corner, and then
Maybe we'll see the rise of drive-ins again.
Yeah,
It's already happening. They're
It's already
being
happening.
Really
Yeah.
cool.
Even
they're being
comedians are
built.
using it.
Yeah, they're being built and refurbished, the existing ones, at a record pace.
Yeah.
That's nice.
yeah, these
Walmart's
cleaned up.
Walmart's going to be showing movies at night.
Yep.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
That's a
Some
good
Walmart-
idea. I like that.
They're converting some of their building space. So, well, they're doing two things that I've read about so far. One is the ones that are the super centers that have big enough parking lots on the wall where they want to turn it into a screen. That's what they're going to do. They're going to project it up on that wall, and then you'll have that parking lot as your drive-in area. And then another thing I just read, I think it was last week, is that Walmart has already started implementing plans for when they build new super centers to actually have on one wall, essentially put up a giant movie theater screen and then zone out the parking lot so that it works as a dual use, both for shopping and then as a drive-in theater.
Well, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it because I'll tell you right now, I had a great time. I took my wife, and then I'm not saying that Bill and Ted's was a great movie, but it was a first run film, so it was original. And I think it was just the idea that everybody was in love with going to see a first run film based on a franchise that they love and getting out, just getting out and having a good time. And so my wife and I's energy went into, we just started talking about to my daughter. And so my daughter and her boyfriend went out the next day and went to the theater and saw the movie. You know what I mean? So this is infectious. So I think people are starving for this entertainment, and I think drive-ins are primed to be able to deliver, first-run films with a great experience. Because hell, man, I'm old enough to remember those shitty speakers that you would hang on.
Yeah.
I remember those.
Crappy sound.
Awesome.
Well, now, man, you have fucking surround sound. You have your system in your car, and you know what? We had two fucking these guys were like off-roaders. And so they backed their trucks in, and they had their speakers like projecting to the back. So we had like crazy surround sound. We had their sound system, then we had our sound system inside the car. So we opened the moonroof. Oh my gosh, the sound was pristine.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm
so good.
I'm over here in Japan, and I mentioned drive-ins once to the Japanese, and they said "baka, gaijin okashi ne," and I was like, "Oh, damn."
And that means
I know what baka means.
That means rickshaws don't work in drive-in theaters.
They don't have drive. They don't have it here. Yeah.
Do they have sushi at your drive-ins?
They don't have drive-throughs at all here. So
Because
drive-in, sorry.
That may change soon.
About that.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That may change soon.
What's
But,
with women and raw fish? They love raw fish.
Do I really need to explain that to you?
Dude, sushi is fantastic. I love it.
Jesus.
Shut up, Bob.
Oh,
You're on Pontificators.
Hey, man, don't be talking crap about my sushi, boy.
Really?
them fighting words over there.
I
live
would
in
kill,
Japan,
I would
and
kill
I
my
can't
weight
stand
in
the shit.
sushi if they would let me.
See, I was just gonna ask Chester the question. Like Chester is, so Chester's like, that's crap.
I hate Japanese food, man. And the sad thing is, I'm just like a short boat ride from China. My favorite food in the whole world, man. It's so.
You know what? I'll agree with you because I tried everything, and there was my wife and I went into this whole like Japanese phase, right? So we just went. God, where was it? There's a place in LA that's all like Japanese, and they have great restaurants and like A-list restaurants. So we went there, and you know what? I never ever kind of caught on to the Japanese cuisine. It was okay, but it was never there. Chinese food, great. But I'll tell you, what is it? Taiwanese? Holy shit, man. Thai food is the best. I'll debate that. Like, Thai food is freaking genius, man. I love that.
No, I love it. Yeah.
Chester, what do you think about Japanese curry?
Oh, well, Japanese curry is just British curry. I mean, curry is a British food, right? And it's they just copy it. They basically, you know, the little boxes you can get in the supermarket. That's
Yep.
what you get here. Yeah.
Yeah. We have, hey,
No.
Joe, if you ever come by, I'll make sure, again, we have a neighbor, Indian family, and they make curry. Holy shit.
Do they
I
make
love
curry or do
these
they make
curry.
masala though?
I don't know. I mean, we just call it curry here, but it's freaking delicious, like over chicken, potatoes, all kinds of stuff, man. It's delicious. The thing is that you can't eat too much of it. Because I don't know how you guys, I'm going to go rude for a minute. I don't know what you guys favor with like this, like curry and stuff like that. But man, if I eat too much of it, I get the shits.
That's kind of the point. Yeah.
Is it the point?
It'll clean you out. It'll clean out your sinuses, and then it'll clean out your colon.
I got a story. Okay, so DC had us over for like I forget, it was like for the outsiders of the Teen Titans. So we had a summit, right? So Joan Hilty had all the creative people, and we all went out to a Thai restaurant. And so I'm eating this food, and it's absolutely delicious. Like I've had the food before, but like very just like sparingly, and I don't think it was done very well. So this restaurant was top notch. So I'm eating this, and I'm like, holy shit! So it's red curry, it's the yellow curry, it's and I'm just eating it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never had anything as good as it. And they're like, everybody's telling me, Art, you might want to slow down. You might want to slow down. And so I'm like, I don't care. This is great. How bad can it hurt me? It's so delicious, right? And so we get back to the offices of DC Comics, and I'm like, excuse me. So for the summit, this is now the business part of like what I care, right? So I'm like, excuse me. I ended up spending a half hour in the shitter, right? I polluted that place, right? So then, what was it? Rachel Gluckstern, who's Joan Hilty's assistant. By the way, DC has no really powerful women or like creative women in their offices. But Rachel comes over and knocks on the door. She's so sweet, and she says, "Art, are you okay?" And then I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'll be there in a minute. So have you ever you guys got, I know you've all experienced this, where you try to close off your duties premature, and I think you know where I'm going with this without being rude. Like you just try to finish up your activity before you're really done. And so then I'm like, okay, I'll clean up, I'll go over. And so I'm in this meeting for about 3 minutes, and I'm like, excuse me.
Oh no.
Teacher.
And I'm like, I missed most of that meeting. DC did not get their money's worth with me and my input on the Teen Titans that day, I'll tell you that. Most of my time was in the shitter, yeah. But I loved it, man. I didn't regret it. Like that's when you know it's good food, right? Where you spend hours in the shitter and you don't regret it.
I was going to say, when you spend hours in the shitter?
No, I'm not kidding, Bob. I was in there on and off for about an hour.
I remember having.
Oh my god!
I remember eating at an Indian restaurant, and this was in at Lake Tahoe in the wintertime. So there was snow on the ground. It was proper winter, and the whole menu was in Indian. None of it was in English.
Oh my god!
Art's story was approved by the Comicsgate Alliance.
Yeah, keep going, man.
So
I've been drinking, you guys, so I might be a little inebriated at this point.
Like, I've been drinking.
The whole menu's in Indian, and I basically asked the waiter, for something, what do you have for curry? What are the options? Because I figure I can't go wrong, right? And so he points to a few different options, and he's pointing out the different, like this one's chicken, this one's beef, this one's lamb. I said, "Oh, okay, I'll take the lamb."
There you go.
And they bring it out, and it's got this sauce that I've never seen on a curry before, but it smells delicious. So
it fools you, right? It's like the food that betrays you.
Yeah. And so my father-in-law saw what I was getting and just ordered the same thing. So it comes out and, it just smells delicious. I start digging into it. And in the beginning, I expected it to be spicy, and it didn't seem like it was. So I'm just digging into this curry, and after maybe 5 minutes, all of the heat hit me at once.
Yeah.
And my whole body broke out in a sweat. And my father-in-law was about a minute behind me. And so right as I'm, it was a nice restaurant. So, we were dressed up a little bit, and I'm loosening up my collar. I had this long sleeve shirt on. I'm rolling up the sleeves. I'm getting napkins and wiping the sweat off.
Yeah,
I can tell my face is on fire. And I said, I got to go outside. I'm burning up. And so I go out the door. He follows me. I kid you not. We take off our dress shirts. We're down to our plain white undershirts, and I'm contemplating stripping off my shirt and rolling around in the snow because I'm just burning up. And so we're out there. It's about 40 degrees outside, and I'm picking up snow. I'm rubbing it on. It was just insane. It was absolutely insane. We put our shirts back on after we cooled off. We go back inside, and I don't think the rest of us had anything else but water after that point.
Yeah. I had a Thai experience like that in Idaho, and it was snowing, but I didn't get the shits after that, so I was thankful for that. But I was really, really hot. Like, I felt hot. Yeah.
Well, I don't have any gastro-apocalyptic stories myself, but Lady Alchemy did tell me a scat story, which I really should share online. So I won't. But
are you going to share that?
No.
I got a story going to beat all of you, but I ain't going into it.
No.
No.
Listen,
You don't want me to go into it. Let me.
All you gotta order is butter chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Butter chicken is amazing.
I'm glad Todd woke up for half a second. It's perfect.
It's Thai. You guys never heard of butter chicken?
I love butter chicken, dude.
I like garlic pepper chicken, but never butter chicken.
Yeah, butter chicken's awesome. It's my favorite. It's what I get all the time. I prefer Nepalese masala and naan over the Indian myself, and they do butter chicken really well too.
So why is butter chicken spicy? It sounds harmless.
Well, it's as spicy as you order it, really. But
it is. It ends up being harmless, but it has a great flavor.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you eat this stuff regular, it's not a problem.
Yeah, you build up an immunity to it. Yeah, it's just a matter of like being a gringo and eating it like I did in New York City, and then getting the hits.
That's funny. Pablo says Lady Alchemy was talking about balls today on her stream. Yeah, no, I like it. I like it, Lady Alchemy. She's I spent 12 years as a bouncer in a strip club, so
So you've seen some.
I speak her language. Huh?
I'll tell you, being in a rock club and playing rock and roll music, you are introduced to a world that you probably wish you never were exposed to.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I think I was like 15 when I saw like my first like hardcore lesbian experience, and it was at the Roxy on the Strip, and holy shit, man! I'll tell you right now, I can relive when I close my eyes. I can relive every glorious moment.
Every drop.
Should have joined them. That's what I would have done.
No. There was no way I was going to join them. They were like so into each other. There was no way there was room for anybody else.
You gotta make room. You gotta make room, Art.
Especially a 15-year-old boy.
Shimmy in there. Yeah, shimmy in there.
Art.
But actually, one of the I'm not going to get into it too deeply, but I was on the Eastern Circuit while you were on the Western Circuit, right? And therefore, oddly enough, we get a lot of crazy there, but there's nobody as crazy as those two wackadoodles from the Black Crows. Those dudes are out of their frickin' mind, dude. I mean, because we do this, because I was always, doing like the opening act band, right? And but so we always had some headliner or sometimes even two headliners. And but those guys, every time they showed up, I mean, I've never seen. I've heard stories about Motley Crue, but I don't know that they're going to touch the Black Crowes, man. Those guys, just ridiculous shit. The good thing about them, though, was the one brother, the kind of he seemed a little bit more analytical. He just, I don't know what it was, but he was like honey to girls. They just flock around him. And the good thing is he can only handle one or two at a time. So they would kind of fall off to the side. It was very nice about that. I kind of so I guess maybe I like the Black Crowes. All right, scratch all that. But yeah, no, I got some stories.
There is a faction about Motley Crue because we opened up for them at the Whiskey, and some of that is. It's an act, right? So you do have some of that stuff that is very, very insincere with the Satan stuff and the worship stuff. And they were like really known for that early on. Like they really perpetuated that they're in league with Satan and they have a blood oath with Satan and like that was their legacy on the Sunset. Well, it was one of their legacies in the Sunset Strip. But if you hung out at any length of time, you realize that it was pretty much just BS. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You could see through it, pretty quickly. But they would have these crazy ass parties right up the street from the Whiskey because they had an apartment up there. So usually right after the show, they would invite everybody up to the apartment, and that's where things got interesting.
Yeah, sure.
That's where they built their reputation.
Hey, Art, I got to butt in here because I have to feed my cats because if not, they're gonna attack me.
All right, man.
But I want to talk to you some more about some comic book stuff soon, maybe in the daytime.
Yeah, you said about.
And then I also want to talk about that city that I was telling you about.
Sarasota. Yeah, I looked into that. It looked pretty cool. Yeah. Did you want to still do a live stream tomorrow, or are you still available for that?
Yeah. I'll be around working all day.
Yeah, let's do something tomorrow then.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for having me on. I gotta feed these guys before they pick me up and carry me off.
Yeah, thanks for
coming,
man.
Good luck with the book.
Nice to meet you, man. Good luck with your project.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Take care.
All right, go back, Johnny Phantasm. It looks really, really cool. And Patrick's a great guy. So,
Art, I got one question for you, man. Is it a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll?
I'll tell you, man, that AC/DC song is probably the most sincere rock song ever fucking written. I think Chester will back me up because when he says getting beat up, underpaid, that's exactly what happens when you go to clubs because okay, we've done things where we've had guys work the door and count. Like what they do is like, if they bring your flyers in, you get credited. Like there's a lot of things like that they do at the door, right? So we had a guy that worked for us that counted all the people that said, this band is what we're here to see. And so then I went, at the end of the evening, you go to collect your pay. And then they go, well, this is how many people came in. This is how many people mentioned your band or had your flyers. And then you go, well, no, that's not true. We had a guy at the door that said this. And then all of a sudden, right, Chester, the biggest guy that you've ever seen comes out of nowhere and stands right behind you. And then the guy says behind the table, he says, are you sure you're right? And then you're like, you look up and you go, yeah, you're right. That's how many people came through the door, because you just know that you're going to get your ass handed to you.
Yeah, I've seen and heard a lot of that stuff. I'm a little bit different than you, Art, because I'm a saxophone player, so I'm a guest performer in a way. Even though I might be attached to a band for 6 months, I'm still a guest performer. Therefore, the band's paid me. So I never had trouble with getting paid.
So you never had to collect from the club; you had to collect from
the band. And my rate was $1,000 a set. So,
and then you would get what, half of it up front, if not all of it.
Oh no, they pay me after the event or something. It depended on if it was a long-term thing. I just get like a monthly drop or something like that. But usually I get paid after the gig. Yeah, but my rate was pretty good. But I've heard a lot of horror stories though, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there was one night we freaking cleaned up. It was a club in Orange County called the Woodstock. and maybe it was Radio City. It's where No Doubt broke in, Orange County Club, and we, oh my gosh, we cleaned up, Chester. And then when this happened, it broke my heart because I was like, this will be our first huge payday, right? Like you start getting excited, like, oh, we just made so much money, because you already know, you do all the math in your head, and then the club owner says, no, this is it, and you're like, wait a minute, this isn't right.
Yeah. No, that's the industry. That's kind of the way things go, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
and then there was a guy. So we had in Hollywood, you had the Roxy, which was the big club. Like if you were like the shit, you played the Roxy. Then there was the Troubadour. There was the Whiskey, and then there was there was Gazzari's. And Gazzari's had this guy, and his name was Phil Gazzari, and he liked to think of himself as a mafioso, right? An Italian mafia guy. And so he made no bones about fucking you over. You know what I mean? Like he wore it on his sleeve, like it was in his marketing. And I always thought, like, if you're gonna be an a-hole, that's the way to do it, right? Because it was all in the marketing. It was like, if you get screwed, it's almost like it's on you, right? Like, well, what did you think was going to happen? You're dealing with a mobster.
Yeah, no, you run into some of those. Actually, I because I was a bouncer whilst I was playing music, because sometimes you have a good run of music and then you don't. So I was always kind of supplement myself. But I ran into a lot of that kind of crap as a bouncer working in these strip clubs. Yeah, because you get a lot of wannabe mafioso types in that arena.
Yeah, and so it's you're hard pressed, because sometimes they have the numbers, and they definitely have the home turf advantage. So if you're ever going to try to make a stand, it's not going to end well for you. I have to ask you, Chester, as long as I've known you, how tall are you? Because you always say you're a bouncer.
6'3".
So you're a fairly substantial sized guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's bigger, but I'm bigger than most everyone I meet. Yeah, sure.
So what was your claim to fame? Like, so to be a bouncer, did you study fighting techniques? Did you have any of that stuff behind you?
Oh, of course. I have a second-degree black belt in karate. My father trained me in a lot of stuff as well. But mainly the reason why I had a good resume and I was able to get work anywhere I went was because I understood the job, and you're not there to hurt people. You're there to control and protect the customer, right? So one of the things I'm really, really good at is joint locking. So I can take it.
Holy shit, I was just going to say that. Yeah, joint locking is the best, right? Because you can just subdue them with just simple moves.
Often all I needed to get a hold of was a hand or something like that. And sometimes you have to take a hit or two, but I'm a big guy, so I can take it. But I very rarely got in a situation where I actually had to, knock someone out. It's very rare. And the only times I had any real troubles with that was like when I was working at the Temple down in New Orleans, and that place is just, they should have closed that place. It's ridiculous. It's war zone. That's some of the worst, shit I got into was down there. But most of the time, you just get a hold of an arm and you lock them up. And you got to keep in mind, most of these guys are pretty drunk. So it's not like they're really crisp and capable,
Yeah. I knew actually when I was with a band called TKO, when we played the clubs, there was an LA County gang, like a Mexican gang, that absolutely loved us for some reason. Yeah. So they were like self-appointed, like security. Yeah. And I'll tell you, man, those guys were the great equalizer, because there was a club in Orange County, they were called the Woodstock, and they tried some shit with us. And those guys just kind of gathered around while we were talking to the club owner. And that guy actually, we ended up intimidating the club owner. That was one of the few times, I think the only time, that we were able to, intimidate the club owner, which it never happened again. But I think it was just the sheer amount, because Mexican guys don't really get that big. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bunch of like Chinese guys, but we had the numbers, and these guys all looked like they just got out of jail. Like it was popular to have the one tear right under the eye.
Right.
And most of them had that, which was pretty much like I've been to jail, like
Yeah, sure.
letting people know. Yeah. So we're getting way off comic books
Nah,
now.
we're just chatting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will add one comment to the bouncing thing though. The worst thing to deal with, which I don't know how many of you guys have experience with strip clubs, but the worst thing to deal with are women, because a lot more women go to strip clubs than you realize.
Yes. Yeah.
And
It's like Bird says, you can't hit them, right?
no.
Yeah.
And if you get you're like, I remember this one girl, and that was a bad night too, because she was just, I don't know, she lost her shit or something. I don't know what was going on. So I was trying to calm her down and get her out of the place. That's the main job. And she just wouldn't. So she went to slap me, and I just kind of hooked into her thumb and just twisted it over. So I had a hold of her, right? And then her boyfriend, who he was quiet the whole time. He really wasn't drinking much. He just reacted, which I get, right? And he came at me, and he was a big fella. He was bigger than I was, so that was a handful to deal with. And everybody, that whole crew that were popping off, so all the bouncers were diving in, but I got the big guy, and I'm sitting there trying to deal with him, and that was really bad because I had a lock on him like this. And I kind of, he was just wrenching around, right? And I just trying to lock him down and, put him in a chokehold and put him down. And he just wrenched around so much. And I just kind of violently cocked him to the side to try to, to get a hold of him and then pop his knee so I could put him down. And my thumb went right through his eye and took it out. I mean, his eye was literally hanging on the side of his face.
I've seen people pop
if you pop that in right away is the best cure,
well,
right?
We didn't know. Everyone that ended the problem because everyone was like,
yeah,
whoa.
but if that hangs out too much, the muscles kind of atrophy, or they change, and then you can't.
I don't know. They took him to the hospital. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, they say that as much as it must hurt, man, just shove that eyeball right into the socket. Yeah.
That was a bad night, and that's all because of a chick.
Yeah.
It's always a woman, man.
Yeah, all the worst situations I've ever been in were female motivated. You are 100% correct. I had a woman. This was when we were backyarding, and she got what she thought was the biggest and the baddest guys, because what we did is she hired us to do this backyard party, right? It was her birthday or something like that, and we freaking cleaned up, right? And so she wanted to renege on our financial deal at the last minute. And so she thought what she would do is she would get the biggest and baddest of the guys that probably wanted to sleep with her, rally them around and stop us from getting our equipment out until we paid her what she thought she was deserved. Like she wanted profit off of her own party. No, you pay us, to play your show, your party. That's how it works. And so they set up in front of the wall there, so we couldn't get our equipment out. And so we had, like I said, we had the local boys, the neighborhood boys, which was the Mexican gang. They always came to our shows, and they were sitting just waiting for the word, right? Like they would just go and just destroy those people, these little white guys, right? And so I was like, this is going to be a bloodbath. So I snuck out, and I actually called the cops on our party, just because I knew that the only way this was going to end well is if the cops came and broke it up, because otherwise it was going to be complete and utter bloodbath. And we had helicopters, Chester. It was awesome.
That is cool, dude.
We had like 5 cop cars. They drove up on the grass. We had one helicopter come over, shining the light and everything. And the first thing, and you know this, Chester, but if you're a drummer, you know it even more. The first thing you do when you have that kind of interruption, you grab your equipment, you get your roadies, and you get the hell out of there with your equipment.
That's right. Yeah.
Because you know your equipment is collateral damage.
You're damn right it is. And I got like a $5,000 saxophone. I ain't playing with that. But it's interesting you mentioned backyarders though, because the best one I can remember was the Blue Planet event in '86, I think. But that was ridiculous, dude. I mean, it's literally a backyard event, right? And that had Santana, Zappa, and Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Zappa.
That was really cool, dude. Yeah, Frank Zappa.
Stevie Ray Vaughan in his prime.
Oh my God. My God, dude. Yeah.
I'll tell you,
was...
we haven't had a soulful guitarist on that level since, man. R.I.P. Stevie Ray Vaughan. Holy shit.
Yeah.
If you like the blues, you respect that man wholeheartedly.
Dude, he ran like a 15-minute long pipeline, and we all got up on stage and jammed with him. So I actually got to jam with Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah.
You got to jam on sax with Stevie Ray Vaughan. You know what? We got to turn one of these pontificators into a music with Chester.
Dude, you need to bring back Kiss Corner, man.
Yeah.
I like Kiss Corner.
Well, you and I have similar experiences, I think.
Yeah. There are some incinerary. What do you call it? Incendiary. Thank you. People that I know that I could get on a Kiss Corner, and there's a band called Angel, which were Casablanca signed artists, and they were the antithesis to Kiss. And I know two of those members now that I've become friends with, and we could have some Kiss stories told through those guys. Actually, this one guitar player from that band was going to be Ace Frehley's replacement in Kiss.
No.
Yeah. It's absolutely funny. And just to show you what these guys claim to fame, just to get some commonality with them, is the movie This Is Spinal Tap. There's two things that were based on this band. One was the pod scene when they had the pods, and then the bass player gets stuck in the pods. Do you remember that scene in the movie?
Yeah.
And then the best bass player, they tried to get him out of the pod through the whole song, and they finally got him out of the song, and then the song ends. Everybody else goes back in the pods, and then Harry Shearer comes out, and he's like, yeah, finally the pod opens, and then he turns to go back to the pod, and the pod slams on his bass and makes that massive sound. That was based on that band Angel. And then 2 was the scene where they were lost under the stage. Angel had a disappearing act. Look these guys up. They had a disappearing act where they would disappear into the stage. And so when that happened, they were, the crowd was like yelling for an encore. And those guys couldn't find their way back up to the stage. So those two stories were based on that band. And they were filming a movie called Foxes with Jodie Foster. And they were in that movie. And so they were in a soundstage doing that. And Michael McKean, who is, what is his name? From Spinal Tap. He's the lead guy. St. Hubbins, the St. Hubbins character, he was hanging out with those guys while they were filming those scenes for that movie. So they were telling them that story. So Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, so they got that story firsthand, and they worked that into the script when they wrote This Is Spinal Tap. So I think that is so hilarious when you find out that reality isn't that far, from fiction. Like no. This actually, did happen. And then you find out, like, even these comedies that people write, and you hear them talk about, like, well, what inspired you to do this? They tell you a story, and it actually happened to them. Like this is crazy stuff. So I love those type of stories. So I would love to get you into a story.
We should, because I got some Blackie Lawless stories that we could get into too.
Oh my gosh, Blackie Lawless! You talk about like people that thought he was like in a pact with Satan. Holy shit!
Oh no, he's Alice Cooper's his greatest love. He's a theater guy, but because even though it's a completely different genre than what I did, all the musicians hang out, right? I mean, when you're in the circuit or whatever, you're hanging out with each other, and so there's some really good party stories from Blackie. That is a crazy bastard.
Well, let's do it. Let's do just a music story, because I was talking to Patrick about doing something, and even John Malin. So maybe the 4 of us will come on, and if any of the pontificators want to show up, we'll do a live stream.
Sit there like a third wheel, like we are right now.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. It is fun though to have a chat. It's clear Art and I have similar experiences, right?
Yeah. Because I knew I was boring you guys, but sometimes you gotta be self-indulgent.
No,
right?
I'm not bored.
It's just like sitting there going like, what are we supposed to do? I don't know. Just sit here and smile. Okay, just nod your head. Okay, yeah.
I've been accused of being a jazz historian in my time, so I've got jazz and blues stories, but they didn't happen to me. So
I ain't got shit.
all the stories I've got are secondhand.
Well, they're all great stories, man. And I think what's cool about rock and roll is it's very hands-on. So, like, the thing I like about Comicsgate and stuff that's happening right now is that it feels like rock and roll to me. It's very tangible. Like, shit is happening real time.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it almost feels like you are on stage or backstage, and you're oh my God, look at this. Alfred McKay. God bless you. It's Punky Meadows. That's the guy I'm talking about. That, and you know what? Frank Zappa did a song called Punky's Lips, and that was dedicated to Punky Meadows. So even Frank Zappa, legendary Frank Zappa, tipped the hat to that band. So so it's fun stuff. But yeah, I think like Comicsgate does feel very, very much like that because shit is just happening real time. Yeah, so this is backstage right now, baby.
But
you were talking about great soulful guitarists, and you couldn't think of one since Stevie Ray. And Pedro in the chat brought up Johnny Winter, and I said, yeah, he would be my pick. I mean, the only one I could really think of that has as much soul in his playing. Now, Stevie was a double threat because he could play and sing, and he was the blackest white man I have ever heard on the mic. I mean, he was just phenomenal.
You should go listen to Tommy Emmanuel.
Really good stuff.
Probably the greatest guitar players ever lived, I think.
While I'm writing tomorrow, I'll listen to it. I'm always looking for new music, so that's good. Yeah, and just like blues rock, it's weird because in the 70s it was right there always, and everybody knew it. But rock and roll tended to get away from that, and I don't think people quite understand how much similarity there is and how much DNA actually is attributed to rhythm and blues of the past, and I think that Stevie Ray Vaughan was the white guy that was bridging the gap, and maybe this guy that you're talking about, what's his name? Tommy
Emmanuel. He's out of the Chet Atkins school, though, but he can do anything. He's probably the greatest guitar player I've ever seen. It's just insane.
Is he as good as this guy?
No, Paul Williams is a god.
That dude. Yeah, you guys think I'm effing around, but that guy has Rob Liefeld lips. Those are Rob Liefeld lips. You guys look that up.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So you guys want to wrap? Are you going to wrap this up on the Rob?
I think you should. Yeah.
So hey, Chester, do you have a parting shot?
No, but thank you guys for coming over here and being part of what we're doing. It was nice talking to Patrick. I've never met him before, but he seems like he's large and in charge. He's motivated and getting his stuff done, which is really cool. So go support his Johnny Phantasm, and just keep coming back and supporting us, guys.
Yes. How about you, Todd? I know you have Florida Man. And by the way, Florida Man, before you speak, Florida Man is in the description. There is a link, so click on that and go check it out. But go ahead.
Yeah. If you were listening and you wanted a digital copy of Florida Man, there's a way to get that. You might have to do some digging on that new site. No, there's only 3 books on that site, so it doesn't take much digging.
So look at the level of commitment on Todd's part. Look at that. He's not even sitting up straight. He's just kind of leaning. The lighting's not even there. He has this like contemptuous look on his face. Todd, you're phoning it in on this program, aren't you?
I had to draw, and I'm so tired. I've been drawing for 16 hours.
Wow, dude. Good on you.
Wow. I'm saying this with love, man.
No, I know you know the grind. This is a grind.
Yeah.
There's been times where I, without even realizing it, I've drawn probably 24 hours. But then you're gone. You're done for like a day and a half.
Yeah, that's why you should never do that, by the way. I used to do that when I was younger. Don't do that. Learn how to pace yourself. It's a marathon, and always know that you're going to have to pass that baton to yourself the next day. So yeah, never get into that cycle because it leads to ruin, my friend. As much fun as it is in the moment, it doesn't serve you in the long run. Yeah. So Florida Man is in demand right now, right?
Yep, it's in demand on Indiegogo. There's another site called Crowdfunded, I think it is called.
Oh my gosh! Do you guys want to get into this? So what is this shit?
Let's save it for next week, man, because I don't know very much about it.
Yeah, this is crazy. I saw you guys up on that Crowdfunded, yeah.
And I saw it by accident because I was following that Brett Booth tangent because everyone kept going, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And he's not answering. He's not saying what new platform he was talking about.
Right.
Somebody else did, and then I went to it, and I'm like, what the frick? There's only 3 books there right now, and Florida Man was one of them. And I was like, nobody told me about this, and so I put it in we have like a little meeting, like I am with 3 of us. And I said, hey, were you going to tell any of us about this? And Chris said, oh, yeah. So
didn't Joe say in the private chat it was Mindy Wheeler, right?
Yeah, and I had no clue about that, no idea, because I know we're about ready to launch a Kickstarter, and in one of the big tiers that's in that Kickstarter is a digital version. But this has a digital. I don't even get it why we would do that. But I'm not in charge of.
Well, I think you need to have a conversation with Chris.
I try, dude. You have no idea how much nonsense goes on when you I showed you that thing. Here's my problem. It says these 3 people are going to talk out of a building, like balloons coming out of a building, and I showed you how I solved it. But it shouldn't have created a problem. It should have been like, oh, I kind of like that. It's kind of clever. It goes along.
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it.
But, it is what it is. And I get all kinds of flack all the fucking time.
Well, all I know is that Mike Barron keeps going, when are we going live? When are we going live? I get these cryptic things from Mike Barron on Facebook. It's like, when are we going live? And I'm like, whenever you want, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because he's got 100 things going on, so he's got more than just Florida Man to talk about. It's probably
that Nexus stuff. Yeah, that Nexus stuff is.
Yeah, and other things.
Yeah,
he's got all kinds of silly little things going on.
So I just want to let everybody know in the chat that I'll probably be doing something with Mike Barron soon because he keeps saying, when are we going live? So I'm going to call his bluff and say we're going to go live today, right now, and then we'll get Bob in and we'll go live. And then Bob will geek out on him.
I don't know. Bob's going to have
your toe.
Bob's getting that whole leg amputated. What are you talking about?
He's not getting his leg amputated. Don't start that shit, Bob.
Oh my God! Did you see that toe? He's got one of these little. He's got a toe that flaps in the wind. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna blame you, man. If the winds of fate push it in that direction, I'm gonna come and tell you. I'll be like that friggin' nursery rhyme. Where's my bloody toe?
Oh, that's sexy. That's a sexy foot right there.
Clean your feet, man. My God, what are you walking in your bare feet?
That is a sexy foot. Hey,
I rarely wear shoes, dude. What are you talking about?
Hey, Bob. Right now we're flaunting our sexy feet.
Yes, we are.
In your face, Bob. In
your face, Bob. No, Bob. Don't do it, Bob.
Mine's bionic.
It is. Iron Man in the house.
Freeze, creep.
We can't rebuild, Bob. You have a freaking pinky toe, Bob, coming out of the top of your foot, so I don't want to hear that shit. That's right. Weird.
I got no bones down there.
That's weird, man. That's the least of your problem is a broken, big toe.
Let me go check. How many of our viewers just left? Oh, about 30 of them. All right, cool.
So apparently, we have Joe Albino Thunderbuns next on the Skadoolie. So what's your parting shot, Joe?
Go check out Johnny Phantasm 1985.
Yes. And Joe's got a project coming on, and he's got some major. Okay, I'll tell you right now, Joe is a dreamer. Joe does not think small. I think on Michael Bancroft's show, I might have been a little harsh on you, Joe, and I'm a little drunk. So I'm gonna praise you publicly. It's good to dream big, and I'm sorry if I seem like I was a dream squasher.
No, it was totally cool, man. Although I've got big dreams, I've got very realistic expectations about what it would take to make those dreams come true. And I've got plans within plans within plans, and it's all about taking it one step at a time. And you hope for the best, but you plan for the worst, and as things happen, you adjust on the fly.
Yeah, I do like that, and once I got to understand clearly, because it was weird, because when we were on Michael's, I didn't know if you were talking about yourself or you were just talking about like this general idea. So then once I found out that it was more like your business plan, things shifted a little bit. But for the record, I think your business plan is going to freaking rock. I think it's going to kill, and I can't wait to be able to support your future endeavors, because they are going to kick ass. And
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that nobody that I've talked to behind the scenes in Comicsgate has spoken as ambitiously as you, and has had such a clear business model as you. So I do think that you will succeed, for the record. And in any way, in any little way I can help out, let me know, because I will definitely do that. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, no problem, man. And so we got Bob, one of the biggest Comicsgate supporters of all time. So what is your parting shot, Bob?
You don't get anything from me, man. You're hacking on my toe, man.
No. We're in complete
your whole foot.
No. Which toe? Which toe are we talking about? Are we talking about your big toe?
Pedro's in there talking about it looks like it's possessed with the devil, man.
It's not even salvageable.
Pedro is a smart man.
It's terrible.
It's a vestigial toe. It's like the dew claw on a dog.
It's not just your toe. Your whole foot isn't salvageable.
That's true.
Just chop it off, man.
The power of Dr. Scholl's compels you.
Support the indie comic scene, guys. It's the best scene out there today. And screw cancel culture. Cancel culture can suck the pipe. And go sub to everybody's channels on this thing. Everybody that participated in here, we greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, go check out Bob's in his YouTube. Killer stuff. And you work with what's his name, the inker?
Jimmy Reyes. Yep. Every Saturday, if you are anybody that's still here, if you are a creator, if you have a project that you want to promote, if you have art that you want to push, if you just want to come hang out and maybe meet up with some writers, or you got a project you want to push and you're trying to find people for it, we do an open mic every Saturday. Around 7:30, 8 o'clock, and anybody and everybody is welcome.
Yeah, go check out all the stuff. Bob is one of the good guys. Bob gets nothing out of this, like Chester. These guys, I almost said fuckers because I've been drinking.
That's all right, man.
These fuckers rock the Comicsgate scene. They get nothing out of it. They support the shit out of everybody. And I know that I wrote a lame DM to Chester, but I mean it with all my heart, Chester. Chester's one of the good guys. Bob's one of the good guys. These guys support stuff. They have nothing to gain from this. They support the community, and they kick ass. So I am so thankful this is my party shot, every freaking day to be part of Comicsgate, to be part of this movement. I know that early on I was talking about some of this boom comic stuff. And I think it's because I get very, very territorial. I get very, very protective of what we've created here. And I don't want to see corporations come in and just basically exploit it and possibly destroy it. So I want to see this stuff as more like creator driven, individual driven, and take it to the people, and to basically create stuff for our crowd, for the people that support Comicsgate and support our individual IPs. So that's really what I'm about. And my fear, I guess, in parting shot is that I think Boom, and maybe if DC or Marvel or other corporations start trying to do this, that they may be overstepping their boundaries, and maybe watering down the purity of what we're doing here. So that's my cautionary tale for Marvel and DC. I know that everybody in the pontificators pretty much agree that this is what's going to happen. I just hope that we're able to balance it out with, books like Florida Man or Chrono Mechanics Black and White or Johnny Phantasm, Ethan Van Sciver's, Cyber Frog and Graveyard Shift and all these other great IPs. So that's my hope, that we don't neuter it and water it down, so that we can keep it pure and then keep these people that want to do these individual visions, that don't have corporations behind them, can have a place, an outlet to do what they want to do. So that's my hopes, you guys. So by all means, support Keanu. I think he's a great guy. I just wish it wasn't through Boom Studios. So that's my parting shot. Go back, Chrono Mechanics. It's a great book. We're going to be shipping soon. Go back, Florida Man and Johnny Phantasm. So thanks, you guys, so much. Thanks to everybody, all my pontificator brothers. I do appreciate your time, and we will see you all next week. So